us now, dry your eyes. Fate is upon us, the changing of times. Welcome, blood red skies, burn in the wake of a world left behind. Can't escape the fallout. Feel the fire rain down. See the shadows rising all around. Can't escape the fallout. Down to the ashes, bones are left to dry. Waves of desolation, there's nowhere safe to Can't escape the fallout. Feel the fire rain down. See the shadows rising all around. Can't escape the fallout. Can't escape the fallout. Feel the fire rain down. See the shadows rising all around. Can't escape the fallout. Can't escape the fallout.
I don't know if it came from the night, but it's aiming for your heart. I can see it in your eyes. This desert's not a place you can stand. You gotta look to the stars and reach out your hands. Nothing can tame the winter's cold or wash the beauty from a rose. I can't stop the world, no, no. I can't stop the world, no, no, no. But I promise that I'll be here for you. I can't drown the flames, no, or take away the pain, no, no, no. But I promise that I'll be here for you. I'll be here for you. Be here for you. Your future isn't lost in the fight, soaked in the blood, frozen in time. No, I won't let that happen to you. Just lay your head into my hands and let me carry you through. I can't stop the world, no, no. I can't stop the world, no, no, no. But I promise that I'll be here for you. I can't drown the flames, no, or take away the pain, no, no, no. just wanna feel good. I wanna feel special. Dig down underneath the pressure.
이어서 변현정 선수 마이크를 잡아주세요.
제가 항상 대회에서 저구선을 잘 이기다 보니까
오, 그러면 김민철 선수 어때요?
그건 아닌 것 같아요.
그건 아닌 것 같아요.
혹시 뭐 민철이 형 빼고 오고 싶은 사람이
오,
있고
기회다.
싶은데
자, 없어요? 아무도 없어요? 옹구!
다시 붙는 것도 나쁘지 않은 선택인 것 같아서 열심히 해가지고 한번 이겨보고 싶어요.
김성대 들어오고 싶어요? 오,
무조건 이길 수 있을 것 같아서
오!
네, 무조건 가보고 싶어요.
이야!
제가 선택으로 보여드리겠습니다.
알겠습니다. 이몽규인가요? 와!
예.
와!
홍구가 조금 그나마 약하지 않을까 좀 자신이
오.
있는 것 같아요.
반대편에 있는 사람을 잘 골라가지고
오.
승자전 가서 또 이길 상대를 물색해봐야 될 것 같아요.
알겠습니다. 자, 다음으로는 이몽규 선수입니다.
똑같은 종족을 고르게 되면은 아무래도 한 종족전만 준비하면 되기 때문에
오, 도재욱 선수는 그럼 비조로 들어가는 건 어떠세요?
저는 뭐 큰 상관은 없어요. 괜찮을 것 같아요. 나쁘지 않은 것 같아요.
와, 선수 없나요? 와!
아무래도 같은 팀 선배였기 때문에 잘 알기 때문에 또
네.
그만큼 또 쉬울 것 같아요.
저는 같은 팀이었다고 생각 안 했거든요.
네.
연습 많이 했다고 하는데
오,
잘 기억은 안 나요. 저는 좀 불리하긴 한 것 같아요. 스타일 잘 모르니까.
몰라서 이제 도재욱 선수죠. 저거 어때요?
저건 좀 그렇고 저랑 재호랑 홍규랑 셋 다 집에선 잘해요. 집재호, 집재욱, 집홍규거든요. 그래서
와,
셋 중 한 명은 8강 가니까 그래도
네.
재호 괜찮지 않을까.
좋아요. 비조가 제일 좋아요 저는.
기분이 굉장히 좋아졌어 지금.
A조 안 들어가서 너무 좋아요.
A조한가 너무 좋아요.
뭐 알아서 와.
그냥 알아서 오래요. 와, 지금 서로 윈윈할 수 있는 그런 비가 완성이 됐습니다.
저희 조가 이제 굉장히 만족스럽게 짜줘가지고 이제 뭐 어떤 선택을 해도 상관은 없거든요.
성현이가 좀 약간 실리를 생각해서 저희 조에 그 토스를 넣어줬으면 성대를 좀 바꿔주고
누구랑?
도재욱 선수랑.
와,
올토스조를
올토스.
네, 왜냐면 토스가 그러면 두 명이 떨어지잖아요.
네.
성현이 입장에서 좋은 거기 때문에.
오,
되게 혹하는데요 이거. 토스가 올라갈 확률도 낮아지잖아요. 그럼 토스가 적게 올라오는 게 좋기 때문에 제일 괜찮은 것 같아요.
와, 최고의 자리.
근데 저렇게 해도 두 명 떨어질 거예요. 성대가 두 명 떨어질 거기 때문에
네.
이제 바꿀 필요는 없을 거예요.
어차피 떨어지게
네.
돼 있다 저기는.
김성현의 선택은
이제 갑병록을 바꿔놓은.
도제욱을 잡았어요.
와, 프로토스. 와, 11경기 폭포전이 지금 만들어졌습니다. 와, 최종 선택. 와, 바뀌었어요.
네.
참 쉽지만은 않았던 오늘 하루였던 것 같습니다.
Today's matchup. Mini. Larva. Action. Light. AfreecaTV ASL Season 8, Round of 16. Group B. AfreecaTV ASL Season 8, Expansion.
새롭게 쓰여지는
Hello guys,
왕좌를
welcome to
향한
ASL
이야기
Season 8 Round of 16.
지난 일요일
The opening
펼쳐졌던
day was
ASL
just
시즌
last Sunday,
첫 번째 날
and
경기.
ever since the
새로운
system of
방식으로
the Round of 16
펼쳐진
had
첫
changed, we got to see some
경기였는데요.
amazing
8강에
matches
나간
from the
선수들의
players.
치열한 열정을
So
반영하듯이
before
정말 접전이
we actually get into the
펼쳐졌습니다.
matches tonight,
자, 오늘 비조에
we are
출전하는
going to
4명의
have
선수들은
a short
어떤
interview
마음가짐을
with the
가지고
4 players
경기장에
battling it
왔는지
out today
경기 시작 전 선수들과 이야기
in Group B.
나눠보겠습니다. 김성대
And they are
선수,
Action,
이몽규
Mini,
선수, 이재호 선수
Larva, and
나와주셨네요.
Light.
안녕하세요.
Hello. Hello.
자, 먼저 인사 나눠볼
first
선수는
up is Mini.
변현재 선수입니다. 이 지난 시즌도
Mini, apart
결승전을
from last
제외하고
season
정말 많은
finals,
저그들을
You've played
상대했었잖아요.
17 matches
근데
purely
이번
against Zergs,
16강에도
and that was quite
저그가
controversial.
2명이나 포함된
But this time around, you have 2
대진을
Zergs in your
개인적으로
group.
좀 만족스러운 대진인지
With the high win
여쭤보고
rate, do you have
저는
confidence today?
이번에는 솔직히 저그 한 명 있길 바랬거든요.
Well, this
그래서
time I hope that
상대를
there was only one
보고서
Zerg.
이제 뒤에 저그 없을 거라 생각했는데 조금 부담스러워.
But you know, I think there's a bit of pressure on me
판단을
today.
하고 싶었는데 3판 2선까지 해야 될 것
So I
같아요.
think I'm gonna have to go to the
또
best of
방식이
3 to
바뀐
win.
만큼 그 부분이 변현재 선수에겐 살짝
Alright, I
부담으로
guess
다가올 수도 있을
that's
것
how you feel right
같은데요.
now.
자, 계속해서
And
이몽규
next up
선수와도 좀
is
얘기
Larva.
나눠보겠습니다. 이 지난 시즌
And Larva,
변현재
last
선수에게
season,
발목을 잡혔고
you lost to
또
Mini
중요한
in the round of
순간마다
16.
살짝 아쉬운
And
결과를
every time
가져갈
it
수밖에
mattered,
없었는데
you always slipped.
오히려 좀 만나게 된 게
But
이몽규
this
선수
time you're going
입장에서는
up
무슨
against
소식인가요?
Mini. Do you have the
일단은
confidence?
여기서 현재를 못 이기면 누굴
Well, if I
만나도
don't
못 이긴다는
beat
생각을
Mini
갖고
right
있기
now,
때문에
I don't think I can
오늘
beat anyone
최대한
else.
열심히 해가지고
So I'm gonna try my best today and try to show good performance.
비장한 이몽규 선수의 좀 각오까지
Okay,
엿볼 수
we can see
있었고요.
your
김성대
determination.
선수와도 얘기 나눠보겠습니다.
And next up is Action.
도재욱 선수와 마지막에
And you were actually
자리가
placed in Group
바뀌면서
C in the
조가
group nomination,
결정됐습니다.
but then
김성대 선수
last
굉장히 좀
uses
아쉬워하는
authority
모습까지
to swap you and
지켜봤거든요.
Best, and
좀
you're placed in
까다로운
Group B
상대가
after
있을까요, 오늘
that.
조에서?
So you're kind of disappointed.
선수보다
How do you feel?
종족을 3명이나 다 만나야 된다는
Well,
부담스러웠는데
you know, playing against all three races,
전체적으로 까다롭고
that's kind of
그리고
hard
재호
and
형이
difficult to prepare against.
좀 부담되긴 해.
So it's a little pressure on me today.
비조에서 많은 선수들이 견제하고 있는 선수가 또 이재호 선수입니다.
And
이재호
Light
선수 안녕하세요.
is the next person.
그만큼 최근 기세가 정말
And
무리
you're
오를 대로
having
오를 것
in a
같은데
good momentum
8강에
these days.
첫 진출할 수 있는
And
절호의
this is your
기회가 아닌가
chance to make
싶습니다.
it
자신
your
있으세요?
first round of 8
일단
in
조에
ASL.
저가 2명 있기
How do you
때문에
feel?
준비하는데 굉장히
Well,
좋았고요.
you know, my preparation has been going fine.
꼭 진출하도록
And this time around, I'll try to advance to the round of 8.
16강 경기를 앞두고도 이재호 선수 24강 때처럼 긴장을 전혀 안 하시는 것
And you're
같아요.
saying that you're nervous.
그때랑 다르게 조금 떨리긴 하는데
Well, a little bit of
이
nervousness,
정도 긴장감은
but this
경기력에
nervousness
좋은 영향을
doesn't
줄
really
것
affect
같아서
my gameplay.
오늘 최선을 다해서
And
진출하겠습니다.
I'll try my best today.
자, 이 4명의 선수에게 팬들은 과연 어떤 게
Okay,
궁금하셨을지
let's hear
한번 질문을
The fans'
전해드리겠습니다. 먼저
questions
변현재
and ask the
선수.
players about the fans' questions.
이 최근 출전
first one is for
오프라인
Mini.
대회들에서도 높은 성적을
And
기록하기도
recent offline
했지만
tournaments,
사실
you have
변현재
shown
선수의
some
가장 큰
great
적은
results, like coming
다전제에서
second
멘탈이
place.
흔들렸을 때 자신
But you know, as people
아니겠습니까?
remember you,
16강의
you're
방식이
quite weak
바뀐
in
만큼
best of threes.
좀 많이
And
부담스러우신지
since the best of threes will be
궁금하시네요.
happening today, how do you feel about this
일단은
change?
저는 개인적으로
Well, personally,
안 좋은 방식인 것 같아요.
I don't think it's a good system. You know, best of one works a lot better,
준비하는데 좀 까다로움이
and best of threes can be really tricky
그래도 워낙 또
for
지난 시즌에
preparing.
높은 곳까지 가면서
But you
멘탈에
did
대한
get
이제 노련함이 생겼을
Placed
것
very
같아요.
high
컨트롤에
in the
대한.
recent tournaments.
예, 멘탈 부분이 이제 전혀
Well,
상관이 없고요.
as in terms of
지금
mentality, it doesn't matter.
여러 종족 테란전이랑 이제 저그전 둘 다 준비하는데
You know,
좀
just
까다로움이
preparing against TVT and
그래도
TVZ, that's really
시청자분들은
tricky.
다양한 족족전을 좀 경험할 수 있어서 오늘 경기 많이 기대하고 계실 것 같은데 이몽규
And next
선수께도
one
좀
is for
질문을
Larva.
전해드리겠습니다. 이 자극적이고 굉장히
In contrast
도발적으로
to
임했던
your
다른
provocative and
시즌의
ostentatious manner that you've
달리
shown in the
이번
past
시즌
group
조지명
nominations,
지금 굉장히
this
좀
time around
겸손한
you've shown more
태도로
humble side of yours.
임하셨는데 계기가
And
있었을까요?
why is the sudden change?
그동안
Well,
자신감을 표출했던
until now,
이유는 좀 제
I've shown
나름대로
a lot of
긴장감을 좀
confidence,
떨쳐내고자 했던
and that was trying
방법이었는데
to get my
이번
nervousness
시즌
off.
들어서면서
But this
좀
season,
긴장이 안 되더라고요 어느 순간부터.
I haven't been
그래가지고
nervous
뭐
much.
제가 원래 스타일대로
So I didn't need to
이제
put on the show.
멘트를 하게 됐던 것 같아요.
So I think that's why I showed more
자,
humility.
다음 질문을 전해드릴
And next one is a question for Action.
선수입니다. 이 최근 가장
And Action,
기세가
you've
좋은
shown the best
저그를
performance
뽑으라면 또
out of
김성대
all the
선수를
Zerg players
많이들
so far.
언급하시는데요. 김성대
So from
선수가
your
생각하는
perspective,
현 시점에
who do you
저그
consider
원탑은
to be
어떤
the best
선수일지
Zerg player right now?
궁금해하셨어요.
사실 며칠 전까지는 되게
Well,
자신 있었거든요.
until a few days ago, I've had confidence.
민철이 형이 당연히 제일 잘하지만 요새 게임을
Currently,
많이 안 하셔가지고
I think Solky's the
제가
best, but he
제일
hasn't
잘하지
played a lot of
않았었는데
games these days.
어느 날 이후로 좀 많이 지기 시작해가지고
But from
지금은
some point, I started losing a
민철이
lot.
형이 아직도 다시
But
잘하지 않나.
you know, in the end, I do believe that Solky is the best right now.
저그인 이몽규
So
선수의
Larva,
생각은
who's sitting
어떠세요?
right next to you, who do you think is the best Zerg player? Me.
자, 과연 좀 살짝 겸손한 멘트를 한 김성대 선수와 자신감 있는
And
멘트를 한
yeah,
이몽규
very
선수.
confident of
이
you.
선수가 만나게 된다면 또 어떤 결과가 나올지 기대가 됩니다. 자, 그리고 이재호
And last
선수에게도
one of all,
마지막으로 질문을
we're gonna ask
전해드리겠습니다.
Light
이재호
a question.
선수가 프로토스로 종족을
And Light,
변경했을 당시에 또 굉장히
when you changed your race to Protoss, it was quite controversial. And after that, you actually had a higher win rate in
일단
TVP.
집에서는 그런
Was this
깨달음을
relevant?
얻었는데 아직 대회장에서는 그런 깨달음을
Well,
얻은 걸 보여준 적이 없기 때문에
I don't think I've
오늘
shown
좀
this in a
보여주고
LAN
싶고
tournament, so I want to
좀
show that today.
다전제이기 때문에 또 만나게 되면
And since it's the best of three,
그래서 어느 정도 제가 가지고 있는 실력을
so
보여줄 수 있을지가
I think
관건일 것 같아요.
it's
자, 오늘
I think it will be
네분의 선수
important to show my
준비해 오신
ability
경기력
to the
모두
most.
유감 없이 발휘해 주시길 바라면서 좋은 경기
And we hope to see
기대하겠습니다.
some great
인터뷰
matches
고맙습니다.
today. Thank you for the interview. Thank you.
자, 과연 오늘 B조에서는 어떤 선수들이 8강에 진출할 수 있을지 저는 잠시 후에 첫 번째 8강 진출자와 함께 돌아오겠습니다.
AfreecaTV ASL Season 8 Expansion.
Hey guys, we're back. It's Tasteless again. We just returned from China, casting the World Cyber Games 2019. But it's good to be back here casting some StarCraft 1. We missed you guys.
Yeah, good to be back here with ASL. Tasteless, from that interview, I'm going to give you a scenario. Okay, first two things. When best of series go up from 1 to 3 to 5 to 7, does volatility go up or down?
Well, maybe we should ask Mini Artosis.
Volatility goes down as the best of series goes up.
Of all the people that would have a problem with this system, I'm surprised any of the players would be the ones objecting.
Well, here's the real question, though. If a player were to object and say that best of threes are worse, would that be a Zerg player, a Terran player, or a Protoss player, do you think?
I think we should go back and ask Mini, man. What do you think?
So the Protoss player wants more volatility. I've been saying this stuff for 20 years. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Because, like, I mean, pretty much anybody who competes in any game would always prefer to, if they're the better player, to have more games, right? You just want more opportunities to prove yourself here.
Yeah.
Whatever. Moving on here. We're in the round of 16. We finished up Group A. We're now in Group B. We're going to be pretty regular now with our schedule. I know it's been moving around quite a bit, but it is still going to be every Sunday and Tuesday at the regular time. So thank you guys for joining us, and thank you to all of our subs who filled in while we were gone. This group I'm very excited about because I think it's actually among the most difficult groups to tell who's going to advance.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. This is actually a prediction for who will get out first and who will get out second from the other 12 players in the round of 16. So obviously we see that a lot of people think Mini's going to get out first, and a lot of people think Light will get out second. Almost no one thinks that Action will get out, which I think is hilarious because he is still underrated even by his fellow pro gamers who he beats all the time. So, would you agree with this assessment?
I mean, it does feel a little bit odd that Action doesn't have any red marks there, but this is so difficult. I mean, to be frank, guys, Action might just get out first, and we're like, okay. That we won't be shocked either.
I feel like the math is that Light will make it to the final match, and his TVZ is so monstrous that in a best of 3, he should be favored. I feel like that's why Action's numbers are so low. Do you know what I mean?
I do. To start this match off, obviously, Mini, if you've been following StarCraft 1 recently at all, you're going to be very familiar with this guy. This guy is on the forefront of Protoss. He's got a very unique approach in all the matchups, by the way.
Yeah.
He in PvZ, he's proven that you can cut corners. Well, he can, I should say, cut corners better than basically any Protoss ever. Like sometimes getting a core before a forge and fast expand.
Yeah.
Very in the Zerg space. In PvT, this guy has proven that Terran can turtle as much as they want in the early game, and he'll just make a third shuttle and go in there and kill him that way. So he's got a fascinating approach to Protoss, and obviously his PvP is solid, or he wouldn't have had all the success he's had, especially with Protoss is doing pretty well lately here in 2019.
Yeah. Of course, his opponent here, Larva. This guy has been very strong for a long time. Everyone knows that he's very strong, especially as we get towards the later game, but he has not delivered in the real tournaments. He delivers online all day, every day.
Excellent song choice. This is what I'm talking about, all right? Yeah. You know what? Most of these pro gamers' song choices, not that good. This is a really good, I went there. That's right. Come at me. Come at me with your bad music, guys. This is a good pick, all right?
Only the music I like is good. Thank you, 6th grade Tasteless.
I know you say that, but I got a point here. This is a great song for him to pick. Larva, by the way, I love this guy. He's one of the most charismatic professional gamers in all games that there is.
Yeah, there's a few that really stand out. He really is one
also known as Starfoot Gamer.
Starfoot
when he put his foot on the mouse while he was beating Legend in the tournament we casted in Los Angeles. Anyways, we are ready. This is going to be a best of 1. Mini vs. Larva starts now.
Now playing in Tripod.
Okay, so we have Mini here in the bottom left. and it is Larva in the upper left.
Yeah. So, tripod. Tasteless and I, as you mentioned, we're in China. We didn't have access to watch these games nor the VODs yet, so we haven't actually gotten to see, the results of the last couple groups. But yeah, tripod, just to talk about for anyone who has missed it. You see those eggs there, that just makes it a little bit more wallable because there's double ramps leading down, which, can make it pretty difficult in various matchups without a little bit of extra help from things like those eggs there. Something to mention is, so basically you have 2 possible naturals, both with reduced minerals and gas. That's a really important aspect of this, so it's not like you can just take 3 bases and be like, okay, I'm maxed out for the rest of the game, because those will run dry. The center of the map has a lot of bases and is easy to maneuver around, but there's a bunch of buildings you got to kill to get there. There's also some minerals that mine out, I believe, as well in this version. So it's definitely a very interesting map. It seems like a cool map.
So whenever you have maps like this, especially in this matchup, there's a lot of different variables going on. I love this drive. So that's Larva as the Ultras. There's little Tasteless and Zergling with his little beard right by him. So this matchup.
I mean, the Tasteless Zergling.
Yeah.
It's like an okay unit, but it only hatches as 1 out of the eggs. So
it costs 3 supply and it doesn't have speed.
And you got to upgrade adrenal glands to make it attack at normal Zergling speeds. So, it's not the best unit, but it's not, it's not the worst.
It's like the Artosis Mutalisk, Muttosis, that costs 10 minerals and 10 gas more than a normal Mutalisk. It has 4 glaives, but the 4th glaive doesn't do any damage.
Yeah. Just makes the bounces look crazy.
So what I was saying earlier, this is a map. PvZ, small changes on the map can completely change how a Protoss is going to open. So I'm excited to see what type of game we're going to have coming in here.
Yeah. So that is 1 gateway into Nexus very, very quickly. Cool to see.
And the gateway actually not at the entrance here, which is interesting.
Yeah. Which I feel like it's okay because there are the double ramps. Right. So like making just a standard wall seems really hard because you'd have to make 2 of them.
Yeah, it's kind of he's going to prioritize those ramps over the location. I mean, it makes sense too, but already kind of to the casual eye, kind of an unusual look as far as configuration goes here.
Okay. So by the way, what I'm seeing now here, it looks like actually. The buildings that they have are not everywhere. You can mine out some areas to get into that center. The last version I saw was not exactly that, but okay, that's cool. So you don't necessarily need to bring a big army to get into the center of the map.
So the probe's going to come here and try to body block. We'll see if he actually throws a pylon in here. Oh, excuse me, the Lings are already over in this area, so definitely not going to have a pylon here. And he's just going to try to run around as much as possible, keep this probe alive. It's paramount that you basically at the pro level cannot afford to lose the probe until Ling speed is done. Then it's an inevitability.
Yeah.
Look, my mouth isn't working today. Excuse me. Now, again, on this map, I think most Zergs would feel tempted to try to do something early on.
Yeah.
Because it just looks kind of like a headache for the Protoss to defend anything. So let's see if we're going to, in fact, have anything. I mean, there's also the option that because it would make sense for the Protoss to be extra insecure about attacks early on, that you could take the game in an opposite direction and totally feign an attack when you're really actually just going to mass up.
Well, Ling speed is done, and he's mined out the minerals in the center. And so that means, I mean, we're going to see a Ling attack here. And with the drone here, I believe what he'll probably do is try to drone drill on top of that Zealot there, but there's a cannon. So does this work? Okay, that drill looked completely unpracticed, I have to say.
Yeah, he came at an angle where it's like, you actually will never touch the Zealot.
Yeah. I feel like if you practice that even one time, you're like, oh, that angle doesn't do that. Okay. I mean, I don't want to be too harsh, Tasteless, but am I wrong there?
No, you're right. I was actually scratching my head there.
Yeah. So
I was
he's
thinking
made a lot of
you would
links.
have to have vision of the minerals at the natural that's been taken here, and then have it go up that way, like this, where this Overlord is now, to get the mind click to get the drone to to pull through the zealots up there.
Yeah, occasionally we see someone do this. Like Jadong did that once. Do you remember where he was trying to jump something over something that can't be jumped?
Yeah, it was like
Zerglings. Yeah, it was
I
on like
don't
a
know the
third
story.
world. But yeah, no, he was trying to jump over basically a little fence that doesn't allow any sort of glitching.
We're about to hit the climax here.
Yeah.
Because the Zerg is all in with this.
Well, that is a lot of Zerglings right there. And only one cannon. The probes are starting to come out.
He needs to get those probes over there before the Lings get in, and already the Lings are beginning to spill through, especially the lower side. That it means the cannon is going to go down, which is usually an indicator that things are about to fall apart here for the Protoss. But we have 2 more Zealots coming up now. They need to try to combat these Lings as best they can while the cannon finishes, but already the cannon is forced to cancel.
Oh my god, it's so many Zerglings though. Even with some missed micro there for a moment, he's going to end up killing all these Zealots. One of them trying to run away.
This is usually the beginning of the end here for the Protoss. It's when there's no cannons here to defend the natural. You just start to come through with so many Lings, and you know, the cannon is really the backbone of the defense. The probes and the Zealots are just there to support it.
Sure. Like, if he gives up this natural, is it 0% to win going in the main?
It's really,
like against this many Lings even?
It's so hard, man, because he's going to lose the core.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
But he doesn't even want Dragoons, Tasteless.
You make a great point, Artosis. No, I mean, this is just, it's so hard. And I think actually, I mean, if these Lings even hit this cannon here, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to play it out anyways, but anybody who's played enough Protoss has experienced this moment where you lose the natural and you're like, great. Now what? You know, and especially a player like Larva, like, you know, these top, you know, 3 Zergs in the world players, like, they're so good at playing this, they're so good at keeping an advantage and just not losing it.
Now, Larva just is only sending Lings. He doesn't have that many drones. Like, if he just only sends Lings and it gets, well, I guess it's just not getting held. But I was going to say, like, let's say Mini eventually does hold this. I just wonder, like, how many drones he has to not have to have a chance.
The problem is that when you're trying to hold your natural, you're using the probes too. So you're losing so many probes in the process. It's not like you gave it up. GG. It's not like you gave up. Mini very upset by that. Understandably so. That is like, out of all the things that Protoss deal with, early game Zerg rushes are enough to make you want to put a fist through a wall. Yeah. It's so hard to hold.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Mini had that opening so practiced, so rehearsed, but...
Yeah, it seemed very good, but he didn't take it seriously. When that drone came through the wall,
you need to, like...
I feel like that's where you double down on defense, because you're like, okay, this guy's desperate
Make another
right now.
cannon. Yeah, I mean, just... You know, a second cannon, for instance, there, I think 100% that's held.
100%.
The problem is that I feel for Mini. But even though he thinks the best of 3 is going to be bad for him in that losers...
Well, that's what he's got for the rest of the night, so...
Yeah. Congrats to Larva. He's going to go to the winners match. Some down and dirty Zerg play, but how could you not do that on a map like that? We're going to go to a break. When we come back, ZVT, Action versus Light. Do not go away.
재미가 없으면 원래 TV가 아니지.
Itt az áldozat nem húzta be a kéziféket, és a saját terepjárója ütötte el. Ezt az embert meggyilkolták. Mi van, ha ezek az esetek összefüggnek?
Tudod, mi lesz itt, ha ezt kiszagolja a sajtó?
Az értelmiség többszörös árulása.
Holnap reggelig zárd le a saját ügyeidet. Ezt meg felejtsd el.
이번 선거 나 대신에 출마해요.
안산 대신에 나 이제 가만 안 있는다고.
칼자루 좀 만든 것도 자꾸 야! 정치는 야 배짱이야 배짱!
선거가 장난 같아요 지금?
선거 포기 안 하려니까 말리지 마시오.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
AfreecaTV ASL Season 8 Expansion.
Welcome back. We are continuing on here at the ASL. We just had Mini get eliminated with a Zergling all-in, a very frustrating loss, and so Larva will be in the winner's match. Now we have Action versus Light.
Yeah. So that was kind of a weird match that we just saw. I feel like the amount that Mini underreacted was absurd.
Yeah, I mean it's a hard thing to hold, but he did not pull his probes fast enough. Like you need to immediately
I feel like when you see that many lings at the back entrance and a drone that drills through incorrectly, I think that's like the biggest sign of desperation in the whole world. And the fact that he did not react heavily to that is definitely something he needs to fix. But that being said, he will not be advancing in first place, so 6 pro gamers are a bunch of dummies. And now we have this match. Best of 1, the Action versus Light.
Tasteless approves of this song as well.
Yeah. I see a pattern here. You're just saying all the songs with English words are good, Tasteless.
That's right. No, I like this song too. It's a good, like, kind of walkout song. You wait, I'm gonna find a Korean song I like, Artosis.
I can't wait. I am excited.
Bring it on, pro gamers.
Bring on a song that Tasteless likes.
That's right. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Light is an excellent TVZ player.
Oh, he's so strong.
He is like
so strong.
The ultimate weapon against Zerg. So
mechanically, TVZ, he is similar to a Flash or a Last.
Yeah, especially with the bio play. He's just a monster. He's so good at controlling bio units. And
he doesn't open mechanic or 1-1-1 nearly as much as those do. Like Last and Flash lean towards those. He is a bio player.
All right, game 2 starts on tripod. Action versus Light. Let's go.
Now playing in tripod.
Okay, so we've got Action here in the top left. We've got Light here in the bottom left. And I know we talked about this in the PVZ about, it's hard to not try to do an all-in as Zerg against Protoss on maps like this. I mean, Protoss is, if they controlled the universe, they would only have maps with very, very tiny naturals and small ramps, just to give them more options. Protoss desire congestion on a map more than the other races early on. I guess Terrans do in some situations as well. But
Terrans love congestion as well. You don't want anything wide open. And Terran units are weak early.
Right. But in PVZ especially, you just want a kind of a basic area. So there's a big burden for the openings here. But this can also be true in Terran versus Zerg. And it can sometimes go in either direction here. This is sort of an odd situation as far as defense goes on both sides because of those ramps on the high ground. Excuse me. So basically, we'll have to wait and see what's going to come out here, but there's a chance if a player does fast expand, there might be something sneaky you can do, whether it's like with Lings and Lurkers, even like a 2-hatch muta play with Lings or something like that. Could maybe get in there. There's a chance that Terran might try to run by in a location that's not really well defended for the Zerg.
Absolutely. I could see all those things like that. It almost makes sense to go for like a 2-rack split, even if you go fast expansion, they go 3-hatch. I feel like you kind of want Bio out on this map immediately because Zerg won't necessarily know what angle you're going to come from, which makes the defense a lot harder.
And this map was basically built with all that in mind. I mean, this is essentially a map that really tempts players to become aggressive. I think a map, if you want to know like the opposite of that, guys, it'd be Fighting Spirit. Okay, where it's like, here's your second base. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's plenty of paths and stuff. But it's a gas opener from Light, which, again, he doesn't do as often. But when you look at a map like this, when maps get weirder, you know, tech openings sometimes become the way that you want to go because it can be hard to cover everything with Marines. Like, there are 2 entrances, like you said. Ling Lurker or something could become tricky, running around, you know, being able to come from an angle you don't see. So it looks like a 3 hatchery play from Action before his spawning pool.
I like this a lot.
Yeah, that's as greedy as you could really get.
Well, here's the thing. Even though we were talking a lot about rushes, you can't rush that early on this map.
It's very hard because where would you put your buildings to rush?
Yeah, exactly.
If they're at the other spot and you built them on the wrong side, it's like, well...
There's a lot of like early game timing attacks, but there's not like a simple
not a
bunker
good
rush.
BDS map.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Action's already playing the map in a very intelligent fashion.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's a good assessment. Like, the best you could do is like an 8 racks in your main, and that's bad, so you don't want to do that. So yeah, it does make a lot of sense. As far as Light's matchup against this, it's going to be interesting what he does. I feel like he's going to go for like maybe vultures. Well, you're always going to make some vultures in a situation like this, but even like a vulture drop, I feel like could be a very strong move. You know, you're playing against 3 hatch, everything's going to be slowed down a little bit. There's kind of like a lot of different angles that you can come in from. So yeah, I think slightly aggressive play like that could be good.
So from here, Action's going to drone up pretty heavily. This initial Marine, I love it. We'll see if we get any real damage done here. I like the idea. Why not? Just send him out.
Yeah, there's no repercussion of just rallying your first Marine there. Like, as long as he turns around, you know, he's getting home.
Yeah. Even if you were to lose it, it's not the end of the world either. But you know, slowing down mining timing in StarCraft 1, even more so than StarCraft 2, interrupting the mining is huge because you start with so few workers. And Zerg have a kind of peculiar way as far as RTS goes of gaining an economy edge because they sort of make a bunch of drones and then they have to like pump the brakes and then make their attack and then they make a bunch more drones. So just interrupting mining in general for Zerg is a real headache. We're generally speaking, Terran and Protoss are sort of just non-stop workers pumping them out until they get to an exact number, and then they'll stop unless they lose more, usually.
Pretty much. But here, he's actually on Wraith first. But I believe that he will probably go in dropship. Just the fact that you can see that Action has practiced for the map pretty well because his Overlord was sitting in the perfect location to see this Vulture coming ahead of time, and he had already had his Sunken ready for it. So, you know, that's one thing about the map where, you know, you have to buy 2 Sunkens instead of 1 against a 1-on-1 build. So that's kind of, it takes away some of that advantage that he got from the 3 hatch very quickly.
So what is happening with this SCV and Vulture? Is he trying to jump it?
No, he's mining out various areas so he can run through. He has gone ahead and made his command center at this point. You know, continuing to go forward on his tech. I do believe that it should be a dropship, but Action is so on top of things, and the timing of the Wraith coming out was very suspicious as well, because you can tell that the starport started before the command center. So he already has a Sunken at both bases and one in the main, and that's very anti-Vulture drop. So Action is not screwing around right now. He's playing a nice game.
Now we got the science facility coming up here. So we're going to get those vessels out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And,
he actually went Spore. I'm sorry. Never mind. Okay, cool. I guess I mistook that.
Is he going to lose that? This is the funny thing about a Wraith, man, is like the Wraith, it kills a lot of air stuff. Like the moment anything in the game is attacking it, you're like, you got to run right now.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Like 3 Marines beat a Wraith.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? 3 Marines.
How many Hydras beat a Wraith? Is it just like,
one?
I'm serious. Like, I'm actually not sure.
I think it might be 2, but I never test that because I run.
It might be, yeah.
I think it might be like just barely 2. Because 2 wreck it, but yeah. Anyways, here comes the drop, and because that's a Spore.
Oh my God, the blind spot.
This can be very deadly.
So perfect. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Oh boy. This is... Okay, he needs to micro those vultures a little bit better. I'm actually a little bit shocked he's not pulling those away further.
Yeah, you know, luckily these overlords are here, so it's actually making it much harder to click on these drones.
Okay,
so this, I mean, that's... Yeah, this could have done more.
Intentional or no, yeah, he actually could have killed much more drones, but yeah, this is sort of just a feature of RTS in general, is that because it's from top-bottom perspective, stacking air things on top of ground things makes it harder to target the ground things.
And the vulture drop was still okay. I think that light is still completely fine in this game, but yeah, that's a nice quick hive. That's unfortunate, though. It really feels to me like he could have gotten about 4 more drones than he actually ended up getting. Now he's getting everything set up at home, getting into his vessel play, which is very, very important. This is exactly what you want to do with this type of build against a 3-hatch play. And now it's just kind of a question of exactly what Action's doing, right? You don't normally see a Spore against this. A lot of times you just see a Hydra's Den, a couple Hydras to push back the Wraith. But in this case, this is probably a double whammy. Like, I imagine he's going to rush up into Ultras or something like that with that, getting a quick Carapace upgrade.
Okay, Lings are going to come down here from the bottom.
I'm actually quite sure of that now, thinking about it. Like, that seems like exactly the play.
Okay, here come those Lings now. Coming in and hitting this the turret here. Now, if he gets rid of both of the turrets, the mutas are going to start doing a lot of damage. You know, one of the things about having the turrets by those SCVs is that they can be repaired very easily, and so usually mutas just can't contest that. But okay, there's the Irradiate. He needs to flick the Irradiated muta off.
Yeah, see how few mutas there are?
Yeah, I actually thought there were more for a second. They were just stacked better, but yeah, they're just not.
It's very interesting because you kind of have to hard counter the mutas because it can just get out of control.
Yeah.
I want to see if he just threw down an Ultraless Cavern because this just feels so much like he is rushing up to Ultras to try to deal with this.
Well, think about this too, is that basically because the mutas had to be answered, but he only made 3. Yeah, he's cutting corners so beautifully here. I got to say, Action's playing one of the coolest EVTs I've seen, actually.
He planned out everything on this map really superbly.
Everything's working
truly super.
Exactly the way it needs to.
And he's gonna have it just beautiful with when Chitinous is done and then he gets his +2 done. That's gonna be a big window based on what I've been seeing in this game, where he just has a ridiculous upgrade advantage, and it's very hard for Light to do much. He should be able to double expand during that time.
Terran needs to remake that refinery there. And then, you know, we're going to eventually get Terran actually macroing back to where they need to be. Now, one thing is when you rush for these Ultras, like we're seeing now, you know, it's Zerg on 3 bases. 4 is sort of the ideal number of gases you want to really have a lot of Ultras. You can still make Ultras on 3, but every Ultra is really precious. If you lose it carelessly, a lot of times that's kind of how the game just gets lost. So a scan here by Light, and he identifies that it is going to be Ultra Tech.
Yeah, and this is something that can be kind of weathered, right? Let's not forget that the 2 bases that Action's taken, they are lighter on gas than normal bases.
Right.
But don't forget also, he skipped out on a lot of things. He only made 3 mutas, he hasn't made that many Scourge, he didn't make Defilers or Lurkers, so he's going to be able to make a lot of Ultras. The scary thing, of course, is just going to be those upgrades and how Light deals with that amount of time where he just can't fight them. Yeah, it looks like he needs +2 attack, basically. As soon as +2 Carapace is done, he won't be able to win fights anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing about Ultras is that they just, although they can be killed and microed against by infantry, them comboed with Zerglings, because Zerglings alone actually are not great when you have enough Medic Marine. They don't seem to do anything, but when you have them comboed with Ultras, suddenly the Ultras, because they don't get killed off and they obliterate Marines once they touch them, the Lings suddenly become another damage dealer, because the Lings can actually surround the Marines as the Ultras come in there and do damage. And of course, having Adrenal comboed with this just means there's so much melee damage coming out. It's insane.
Yeah, and there's a few other tricky things too, right? If you're playing this very Vessel-heavy style that Light is, because he did rush up to Vessel. Ooh, I like that idea. Not gonna work out, but very cool idea.
So sick.
But yeah, so there's a few things that are very problematic, right? Like you can make extra Firebats to wreck the Zerglings, but Firebats don't do damage to Ultras. They almost heal them.
This is one of these things where it's counterintuitive. Like, if you first started playing, you'd be like, well, obviously I need to get Firebats against this large melee army. It's like, no.
Yeah.
No, actually you don't. They don't. Ultras are too strong.
And then also the other thing, when they actually attack you with the Ultra Link, right, it comes down to a big battle, and you need to get your irradiates and defense matrices off immediately.
Yeah.
And if you want to keep your vessels alive, you have to individually target every Scourge. Because the easiest way to kill Terran vessels is with this build.
Yeah.
Because, like, you literally have to target every Scourge because they have the lowest priority out of everything.
Right.
And the Ultras just won't die quick enough.
Okay. We're getting a lot of Ultras out here. Now, keep in mind, Terran's on 2 bases, which is okay. I mean, that's sort of what he wanted to be on for now. But Zerg is going to slow expand out here and basically keep trying to hold up this horde of Terran units. And eventually, it's going to be harder for Terran to get a third and to kind of develop this game. Okay, here we go. Another great Scourge play. Oh my God, he makes this look so easy. I mean, the idea is you defensive matrix that so Scourge don't kill it. And so Larva just makes double the Scourge and says, get out. We've already seen the dropship play not work twice now.
Well, he got out, there's only 2 mutas, right? And he's going to be playing against +1 Marines.
Right.
I guess the mutas can actually still take that out. But if he had unloaded his whole dropship, it was probably like 3 Marines and a medic.
Yeah.
And that actually, I mean, that's kind of annoying. You only have melee units and 2 mutalisks. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, it's a cool idea.
I also like the pre-defense matrix there. It's just an idea because basically, this is going to show you how strong those Marines actually are, nearly killing one of those mutas. But to what I was saying, like, I like the pre-defense matrix coming out there because it's a spell that lasts so long. Now, Zerg is going to drive the Terran back in here. This is one of the funny things about when you irradiate Ultras is irradiate also hurts the Terran units too. So he's just basically right-clicking that Ultra through there, which is damaging all of these Marines. Now, there's a glitch happening to the right of this on our screen. The Ultra was actually irradiated and blocking everything else off. I think this is actually possibly a breaking point here. Well, can he actually force a lift here? I guess there's just enough infantry. Never mind. Yeah, I stand corrected.
I think he barely holds this, but you can see how many SCVs are dying if from nothing else but their radiates. This could have been a killing blow if he had actually made Scourge for the attack. I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't, because, like I said, if you do all of it at the same time, you attack with all your units and then just bring the Scourge and clone them onto the vessels, you'll generally end up killing everything. But their radiates, they save light for now. You can see that Action has more supply, and it's definitely not garbage supply, so kind of a scary situation for Light. Not sure how he's going to, get more bases and do damage against a now 4-base Zerg.
Okay, another hatch coming down here, and it's not so much that Terran didn't die as that the Terran has not prevented growth for the Zerg on the map. And Zerg can just take base after base after base and throw, a Ling Ultra at the opponent. And now that we have Defiler tech comboed in with this, that's a point in time where not only can Terran not take fights in certain situations, Terran also can't hold certain positions, Keeley expansions. Okay, so if a Dark Swarm comes up over here, this is why it's being irradiated, by the way, but watch this, 1 Dark Swarm, and you just can't fight that unless you have Fire Bats. And even if you have Fire Bats, they're among some of the worser units in the game. And so,
yeah, like Firebats under Dark Storm beat Zerglings, but the Ultra, like 1 Ultra can kill like 8 Firebats or something. It's crazy.
Right, yeah.
But yeah.
Again, counterintuitive to how you'd think the game would work. You would assume that would be the counter to all this, but it's not.
It's good to mix a few in, but now he's bringing down the Defilers. Obviously against this, Irradiate is really your only tool here, so it's a good thing he hasn't been losing vessels. He's done a good job of keeping those alive.
Yeah, if you see all the vessels go down in a big fight, that's usually an indicator that this game is going to be lost here for the Terran. I mean, that's the one set of units. You can trade Medic Marine all day, but you're trying to build up so many vessels that you basically have an unlimited amount of irradiates, defensive matrices that you can shoot out that just completely stop the Zerg. Okay, so we got to push over here on the center right. I don't know if there's a Nidus over here. Okay, there's no Nidus.
Yeah, so this is the first actual real victory for Light, other than the tank drop doing okay, I guess. Yeah, I mean that's a solid kill right there, no doubt. But Action has taken more bases. He is still sitting here on 5 against 2, and sometimes a 3rd. Okay, more Medic Marine pushing up. They're headed over here to the top. I think Zerg's going to go for the counterattack play, though. Now, anytime you have a
Nidus network over by one of these expansions. What Zergs love to do is pop out, throw with a Defiler, throw a Darkstorm down, and then go back through the Nidus so it can't be irradiated.
Oh yeah, that's
really annoying for the Terran.
Yeah, that definitely can be. This counterattack though, this is deadly because I think most of his vessels are out. As soon as the Darkstorm goes down, like you said, he has to pull back out of the area. But Light is trying to keep the pressure on, trying to do something about killing a base. Oh, that Darkstorm is painful. Oh, he does have a fire bat in the bunker, I think, so that's good. But as these ultras come up, it's getting tough.
Okay, bunker torn down here. We need to see if this blob, this Terran blob over here in the northeast is going to do that much more damage. Because I don't believe it can break that position, and we're already seeing these ultras kind of spill in here. Keep in mind, just like in StarCraft 2, a lot of times if you get on top of Terran's production with an army, the game, that's like the killing blow.
Yeah, it definitely is. Well, the Ultras have their full upgrades at this point. The Marines, I don't know that they have +3, so it makes it quite a bit harder to fight. Great defense matrix.
Oh my god, oh my god. Oh, now the Spore gonna get the kill. Okay, almost.
Yeah, but this is not enough left over here.
See how long it takes to kill that?
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Yeah, and while they're all shooting that Ultra, that's when the Lynx can come in there and actually damage burst down the infantry army.
Yeah, Light with very little left over here. He even has those 3-2 upgrades, which are magnificent, but he just doesn't have enough of anything else.
It's got to be annoying to get armies moved down across this map. The way this map is set up.
Oh yeah,
just moving stuff around.
It's almost like you have to just destroy all the center area. You know, mine it out, kill the buildings, whatever. That's going to give you a lot of flow on the map. But when do you get the time for that, really? Right. This is... We're getting very close to the end at this point. Like, Action, he has a hell of a lot still. The vessel count is the only thing that Light has, so... GG. Yeah, GG's. And Action moves forward, as well as Larva, which are the two players that the pros didn't think would go forward. Look at that.
He's good, man. Action is a killer.
Yeah.
I think the way he opened up on that map was so intelligent, and the way that he was able to get the lift on the second command center with the bare minimum was beautiful.
Yeah.
That allowed him to really set up for a healthy position with the Ling Ultra and ultimately having Defilers in there. And there just wasn't that much Light can do. And so that's it for our 2 best of 1s. Up next, the winners match is going to be a best of 3, and that will be a Larva versus Action, a Zerg versus Zerg.
Right. Looking forward to that. Who gets out in first place, we're going to see in just a minute.
첫 번째 매치 시작하겠습니다. 미네랄을 찍어놨기 때문에 들어갈 수 있었고 스타포트의 건설 유무를 알 수 있는 시기죠.
그렇죠.
일단 하나밖에 없었고.
네.
자, 아래쪽에 올라가는 건물까지
이렇게 생각하다가 좀 당할 수 있는데요.
벌써 돌린 시기에 하필이면 또 들어오게 되면서
자신이 견제 가서 상대방을 좀 흔들어야 되는 타이밍인데 오히려 본인이 좀 흔들리는.
반영 보세요. 와.
자신이 자원을 처음에 투자했던 그 건물은 스타포트입니다. 근데 스타포트가 지금 상황에서 쓸모가 없어져 버리게 됐잖아요. 병력의 규모뿐만 아니라 업에도 좀 차이가 나죠. 팩토리 유닛을 선택을 했었고 자원적으로 하나씩 좀 앞서가는 상태에서의 김성현 선수였기 때문에 견제를 해야 되는데 레이스가 나왔어요. 레이스가 가장
내리지 못했어요.
네, 가장 내리기 좀 어려운 위치에 있는 드랍스부터 우선적으로 잡아내면서
레이스까지 가서 잔여 탱크 좀 정리하고 있어요. 취재 두 번째 대결을 시작하겠습니다. 와, 그냥 해처리 2개죠.
네.
12 앞마당 이후에 드론 조금 뽑다가 스포닝을 올리는 식의 빌드가 아닐까 싶었는데 들어와서 지금 견제 시작하고 있습니다. 저글링.
이쪽은 성큰을 짓고 나머지 부분에 저글링이 좀 가 있었는데 자, 성큰 지어지기 전에 벌처가 난입됐어요. 이 입구 쪽을 좀 상대가 빠르게 당도할 수 있을 만한 지역을 벙커와 이후에 추가되는 탱크로 수비를 하고 벌처를 뒤로 돌렸는데 이렇게 되면 공격지향적으로 지금은 뭔가 유닛을 활용을 하려던 이 서문준 선수 입장에서는 브레이크가 걸리는 거죠. 오버로도 지금 잡히고요.
네, 이미 잡혀서 오버가 막혀 있는 상태인데다가 속으로 두 기가 내려가고 있단 말이에요. 레이스가 있는 방향으로.
그쪽 벙커.
세 기가 미리 대기 중입니다.
네.
자, 수비를 아직은 안 하고 있고요.
네, 전더 위쪽에 있는 탱크 자 끊어냈습니다. 여기 병력이 좀 많이 남지 않았어요.
네.
다 막혀요.
지지.
1사 대결을 시작하겠습니다. 다스 견제.
네, 상대의 빌드 자체가 일단은 빠르게 앞마당을 먹는 배럭 더블 형태이기 때문에 자 탱크 추가가 바로 됐거든요.
자, 이 퍼즐 입구까지 동원하면서
위쪽에
위쪽
탱크
버텼고요.
위쪽 탱크가 맞았었는데 안 터졌어요.
네. 여기 수리.
수리 마무리하러 들어가려고 하는 건데
머리는 지금 한 기동밖에 없어요.
밀고 들어가죠.
이래가 이쪽까지 시야를 또 시선을 잡게 만들어 버리니까 11시 견제가 계속되고 있습니다.
다양한 구역에서 지금은 부지런히 활동하면서 멀티 활성화를 기다리는 김성현 선수의 생각을 좀 무너뜨릴 필요가 있죠.
아래쪽에 숫자가 많은데 미리 자리를 깔고 있으면 돼요.
예. 아래쪽에 병력이 많이 분포가 되어 있었기 때문에 사실 이런 구도에서의 테란 대 테란전 최종 태클 병력은 언제나 이제 테란 대 테란전에서 배틀 탱크였었죠. 지역 쪽에 자
탱크는
뚫어버리나요?
탱크를 잡으면서 전면해도 되지만 골리앗이 살아남아야 돼요.
그렇습니다.
뒤로 물러서면서 탱크 라인 걷어내야 되거든요.
탱크 넷이 결국 배틀이 맷집하면서 골리앗 다수를 잡아버렸습니다. 그리고 위쪽에서
지지 2세트 대결을 시작하겠습니다.
추가 병력이 지금은 서로 비슷한 타이밍에 도착을 하고 있는데
와 언덕 믿고 기다리고 있었는데
저기서
뒤에서 덮쳤습니다.
와 뒤에서 자 좀 가성비 좋은 싸움을 해야 되는데요.
네, 근데 이게 탱크가 오는 이 동선에다가 마인을 계속 매설을 해서
들어와요 그냥
끌고 왔거든요.
네.
경력까지 들어와서
이 지역 쪽에서 이기면은 상대방의 멀티 하나도 그냥 공짜로 날려버릴 수 있는 이런 상황이 되기 때문에 자 골리앗이 위쪽에 마인 밟고 터졌어요.
네, 마인.
저 지금 당장 눈에 보이는 건 지금 골리앗밖에 없는데.
네.
근데 레이스가?
예, 레이스의 존재가 있었고 위쪽에 그러니까 자기가 먼저 파악한 병력의 어떤 그 양이었다면야 싸우는 것이 좀 괜찮았을 텐데 이 병력의 백업을 되게 빨리 왔어요.
중요한 자원줄이거든요. 여기랑 좀 3시가.
네, 빈틈을 잘 찾았네요. 여기에 방어 병력까지 놔두고 다니기에는 확실히 병력 자체가 부족했기 때문에.
네. 위치 잡고 오는 병력만 끊어내고 여기 터져요.
이쪽으로 흘러나갈 수 있는 상대방의 병력도 지금 잡을 수 있는 상황이 됐고.
시제 승자전 2세트 대결 김성현 선수, 조기석 선수의 자원줄을 끝까지 괴롭혀주며 승리를 따냈습니다.
Sorry. I wasn't ready for that sign. I love it. I love the artwork. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We are going to go into a best of 3, a ZVZ, and I don't know who's going to take this. Yeah, it's a real toss-up. Both these guys are very smart. ZVZ, so many mind games, so many very technical tactics you have to show.
Yeah, and you know, I would say that overall, I feel like with the games that we watch in ZVZ, obviously you have to kind of have the full repertoire of play, but I feel like Larva a lot of times shows strategies that win him the game. You know, sometimes some tactics and stuff, like some two-hatch play, mass laying, like bring it in from a funny angle. Whereas Action always just feels like he's just very good at standard ZVZ to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We're going to go into game 1, guys. Action versus Larva starts now on Blockchain.
Take all the money out of the banks!
Now playing in Blockchain.
Crypto's the future. Everybody buy Ripple right now. Okay. It's Action here in the bottom left and Larva in the top left.
All right, Blockchain, this should be kind of interesting. Of course, you can get some gas bases without Zerglings really being able to get there, so I wonder if that's something that we'll see. The naturals are ridiculously wide open. Very hard to defend. Like, the ramp is in front of your hatchery, so...
Yeah.
Don't know if that's going to be a place that we see them expand to or not.
Yeah. Generally, more open areas and avenues encourages more ling play. More congested and restricted areas, tighter entries and stuff like that, and tends to reward Muta tech. You can get to the Mutas a little bit more quickly. These are not absolutes.
You know what's interesting as well? If you were to go for a hatchery at one of these kind of like free bases, you can't utilize those larvae easily.
Yeah.
Like you can't just make lings for a defense, right? So
Yeah.
it feels like you actually just can't expand there. This might actually just play like a pretty normal map, now that I'm thinking about it. It would have to be your third base that you take on the hidden area.
We're still waiting to see if it's going to be pull first or hatch first. Those are the only two real options in ZVZ. Not even real. Those are like, no. Generally not. If it's going to be gas first, then it has to be with a pull. There's no like gas.
There's no gas hatch pool.
Yeah.
So what if you want extra gas, but you don't need Zerglings? What about that? You want extra gas, but you don't need Zerglings. What about that, Tasteless?
You're going to have a very bad experience in your game.
Yeah. So Larva going to go ahead and just expand to his normal natural. Hatch first for him, 12 hatch. And same down here for action.
Right. So the way this matchup operates, generally speaking, is it's the balancing act of Ling versus Muta. Those are basically like the two best Zerg units. You can't get other units, generally speaking, in the matchup.
Yeah.
There are a few exceptions, but the Lings and the Mutas are so profoundly strong that it's like it's such a stunt to try to make anything else.
Yeah.
There was a long time ago people that would mass Hydras.
Yeah.
And do this weird style, but basically there's so many techniques and tactics you can do with Ling Muta, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to really go for anything else. We can see stuff like a Queen super late game, or like occasionally we've had Devours, or occasionally we've had even a Defiler.
Well, that is where it gets, it opens up a little bit more, is the super late game, which is kind of funny because, you know, I mean,
this is
you
the
can
shortest
find
matchup.
an odd game where you'll see a Hydra in the late game or something, but it's almost more common to see something like an Ultralisk in the late game, right? It gets really funny at that point, where that's actually one of the end game techs. If you can get so far down that rabbit hole that Mutas are just gone and useless, because there's like Defilers out and Plague and all that stuff.
And we basically never have those games.
It is
but
so rare. Like,
this is one of these questions that if you're a StarCraft 1 commentator, you get asked this a lot. Is like, why do they only go Ling Muta? So it's always worth kind of pointing out to everybody. Like,
I think we get beyond Mutalisk tech maybe once every 30 to 40 ZVZs that we cast.
Yeah,
maybe
even 50.
Yeah, and then when it goes beyond that, it's not much. It's like
usually
Devour.
Usually we don't know what we're talking about at that point in time either, because we haven't seen it that much. And the other thing is that it usually, because Lings and Mutalisks can be utilized so well, usually a game is ended because both players are engaging each other so much. So you never get to anything that's going to be that stagnant. And so, in this game, we have the Spire coming down. It appears action's going to be a bit more on the offense. We know that because his Lings are coming across here.
Yeah, got speed quicker as well, so it kind of shows what he wants to do. All right, getting a pretty good angle. The two drones come up, though. That definitely can't help. Lings flanking from the top. Action continuing to send up mass Lings here.
Speed Lings always beat slow Lings. That's why we have these drones here in this group. The drones actually have a ranged attack that can fire over the Zerglings.
You also mess up the AI. The Lings will never attack them unless you tell them to.
Yeah, that's
or there's nothing left.
One AI feature is that attacking units only attack the other units that are designed to attack. So if you have workers there, they're never prioritized.
You can see prioritized it there because it was a little bit in the front.
Right. He actually clicked that one.
Yeah, he's looking to poke him.
Okay, he's got to be careful too, because there's always the option that you dive into the main here with some of these Lings and start killing drones.
Yeah, he was careful there though. He thought about it for a moment. Here he comes up once again.
Oh
Larva doing a pretty good job holding.
Larva is like so just barely hanging on. It's insane.
Yeah.
He just had enough.
He did lose those two drones. His Spire is a little bit further along as well.
Okay. So, Lings are backing up now. Larva seems like he's okay. Now keep in mind, just because the Spire's done doesn't necessarily mean you see mutas immediately. There's a whole trick to that where you can just keep making drones. They might over-defend. One drone killed back there, by the way.
Yeah, big deal.
Now there's a spill into the main here. Actually, going to go for the workers of Larva. Remember, workers are very, very important in this matchup because you can barely have any of them.
Whoa, he got 2 of them. Oh, he gets a third. Huge
oh my god, oh my god.
Wow. 3 workers killed there, 2 at the natural earlier on. So Action definitely did get damage done with the slings, but you know, it is a quicker Spire here for Larva. He has some mutas out. Coming across the map as well.
Okay, more Lings coming forward now. But Larva's counterattacks, they have to be respected here by Action. You know, Larva actually has slightly more workers, I think, than oh, that's about to change. Hold on.
Yeah,
now he's going to have to lose a lot of these, so he needs to run. But there's not that much space to actually escape here.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I believe Action now has slightly more workers than Larva. But we're getting to the point where it's getting dicey, right? I love the Scourge parked over the hatch. Now, there's more mutas out here for Larva, right?
Yeah, Larva has the muta lead, but I think Action leads in every other way, right?
Yeah, now the problem is the Lings are actually just faster than the Mutalisks. So if you're to fly across the map to try to end it by killing the workers over there for Action, there's a chance Action actually runs into your main and kills off your remaining drones with the Lings. The Lings do damage faster than the mutas. The mutas, of course, just cannot be stopped by the Zerglings.
And Larva so far has actually killed 2 of the mutas with Scourge, now 3. So that is gigantic. Every time you see that happen, that is huge value for Larva. So suddenly we're looking at these muta counts, and he's got like 4 more mutas because he kept hitting Scourge on the other ones.
And so we have so many Mutalisks out now for Larva. It doesn't look like a lot. 5 is actually a lot in this moment. Now there's Scourge coming forward. That's going to be a GG. Action taps out. Larva really gracefully held on during that attack. He was very calculated. Action had such a deadly Ling attack coming in there. He was very good at splitting off and hitting those different workers, but man, Larva looking very solid here.
Yeah, it was some good play right there. I feel like Action was doing a very good job with some of these initial Ling attacks. Getting 5 drones total seemed pretty cool. But when you're losing 3 mutas to Scourge, you know, otherwise that battle would have looked very different, right? 4 mutas and 4-6 Scourge against your opponent's 5 mutas and some Scourge.
Yeah.
But Larva on top of things, good multitasking there, whereas Action may be falling a little bit behind that area.
Okay, we're going to go to Neo Silphid for Game 2. This is the best of 3 format for the winners match. I know we had 2 best of 1s. We're now going to best of 3s. So there's a chance still that Action can come back, but right now Larva is just 1 win away from advancing. Action looking very tilted here.
Yeah, he does not look happy with himself right now. I've actually not seen him like this before. Seems very, very frustrated.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that both the guys that are possibly coming up for that last match of the day are Zerg killers. Like best of 3. Like, yeah, okay, I mean, he did end up beating Light, you know, with that Ultra build on Tripod, but what about a best of 3? Are you going to be able to take him out there? You know, he definitely wants to win here, and he normally has a pretty good ZVZ record.
We're going to Neo Silphid now. Our ZVZ Game 2 starts. Let's go.
Now playing in Neo Silphid.
Neo Silphid. Okay, Larva spawning at the top here, and Action in the lower left. We've switched the colors to make them more easy on the eyes here. So Larva in the blue and Action in the red.
Yeah, so let's see what builds they want to open with here. Kind of a slightly more normal map, but again, you know, we just saw Blockchain play pretty normally. Hard to get too creative in ZVZ, but you know, that's actually something that's kind of cool about it. In a way, is when you see creativity, it'll be slight, but it'll be really, really interesting and cool. You know, because it's harder to make that creativity, so those little changes that you'll see sometimes, and you know, for us, we kind of have Zerg blindness, not being Zerg players, but if you're a Zerg player and you see a cute little thing, it's like, ooh.
Yeah. It's funny because you know, this game has been so unpacked and continues to get there that some of these matchups that are not, you know, with our starting races can be really exciting to cast because you just see more and more stuff come out. You know, you're like, oh wow, all right, getting to experience this live. Action has gone for a quick gas, so there will be a pool right away after that.
You sure now it's not going to be a hatch?
It might be
your
gas
last
hatch. We'll
chance.
just find out.
Your last chance to take that back.
Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good. Here we go.
Is that?
Boom.
Wait, did he click on it? No, he moved it too quick. I'm not sure which it is.
Maybe it's a hatch right next to the minerals.
Can you imagine that?
No, this is actually a very unusual build, though, that Action went for. And this, I believe...
Wasn't it 9? Oh, wait, yeah, it was like...
it was a really, really early gas.
Yeah, it was like 9 gas overpool?
I think so.
Yeah.
Which is actually not something I'm used to casting.
Yeah.
Maybe this is something that's pretty trendy just recently. We were just at WCG in China. We're not able to actually check. The internet's a little bit trickier over there to get access.
It's a little bit tricky.
We've been a little bit out of the loop. We just got back in yesterday. Okay, so there is also a much later gas here for Larva. So what are we going to see? Immediate Ling speed here? Is that the game plan? The kind of
action. I mean, he's got 200 gas banked right now.
Maybe he gets both layer and Ling speed, I guess.
Yeah, he did just do that. You're right. Okay.
So this is probably, if I had to guess here, probably a play where we're going to have enough Lings coming out that it's a real threat, but then a surprisingly quick Muta coming out. If Action were to lose any drones here, it's a total disaster. Even though he's going to be on the offense, obviously.
Yeah,
It is like, how many? He has 3 of gas, and then...
And do you know what? That's kind of an interesting thing, because you can't click on the gas like in StarCraft 2 to see how much gas is in it.
Correct.
So
Very important to note that.
For instance, he might not know the timing or exactly how much gas is banked.
He might not expect Ling speed specifically.
The thing that you can most easily check is the drone count. So if you wait a little bit to like get everything going, sometimes that later scout will come in and think it's a slightly different build.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's what's going on right at this time.
There's no animation for the spawning pool when you get Zergling speed.
That's right.
So you
know,
know,
Zerg buildings have animations actually for upgrades.
It's actually a very kind of funny thing that I guess Blizzard either missed or maybe they didn't have time to put that in there. But it changes entirely how the game operates. It's actually very cool. I really appreciate it. I don't think stuff like this adds more depth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
Drone goes down. Big kill there.
Yeah.
Ling control here by Larva pretty good. I don't know if it's worth it to send that drone back. So it looks like it's going to get not killed.
Yeah, time to send that all the way back.
Remember, these have Ling speed.
That's a big deal. But Larva has enough Lings. He pushes it back for the time being.
I'm surprised Larva's coming this far out.
Well, if you're the 2-edge player against the fast layer player, I think eventually you have to put on counter pressure with your Lings.
Yeah, you're right. Lings are coming down now.
Nice catch.
Yeah, every Zergling's important here. I know that we tend to think of Zerglings as sort of a disposable unit.
Yeah,
not the case here. Yeah, not in ZVZ.
These are your siege tanks.
Yeah, these are your science vessels.
That's so funny.
These are all of your Reavers, okay?
Yeah.
Now, it seems like Action just barely has a good concave to hold that. One Ling did slip through. Okay, he's broken the entrance.
Yeah, he does have a sunken up, though, and that really aids in defense. A lot of micro are going to come down to it right now. The drone's being pulled. Nice drone pull so far, not losing any extras.
The position of this sunken colony is so important here. Because you can drone drill like that.
Beautiful hold.
Basically,
beautiful hold.
The workers are covering everything. Larva's going to continue to come down, though. He's going to dive in. Oh my God!
Loses
two kills. Is that 3 kills?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, I think I saw a drone carcass. Maybe it was. Okay, so now mutas are out as well. A lot of times you do want to still make some Lings.
So there's 6 workers right now. And he's going to kill that Overlord. Not particularly impactful, but you got to get rid of it. Now he's using that to confirm that, okay, the mutas are coming out. So these Lings are going to dive in a second here. Now, there's just barely going to be a Spore here to keep the main... I don't think there's a Spore at the natural. I don't see
I think there is one.
Okay,
like, I don't know if it's morphed yet, but I think I see a creep colony in front of the hatch.
I thought that was actually Larva that was over there, like Zerg Larva. So he's going to try to come here every time with these Lings. But you can control this. You see how the position of the sunken colony, you can glide the drones in between there.
Yeah. Beautiful drilling. Action, though, you know, he has a lot of mutas. The spores are all up.
I'm wondering if Action can get enough mutas to actually take out that natural. A spore counters a muta pretty heavily, but there's an inevitable number of mutas you can get where you actually just dive on the spore and kill it.
Yeah, that definitely happens. Sometimes you try to do some lings as well, where your mutas can hit their lings and make it hard for them to reinforce the main base, or reinforce the natural, either way, really, with lings being made. So basically, if you can make more lings than they have at one of the locations, occasionally that can be a killing move with the mutas stopping additional lings from coming.
And so Larva's just trying to keep these Zerglings out on the map, looking for any kind of hole in the defense here. Let's say that Action flies across the map with the mutas, then the lings of Larva would immediately try to come in and do damage.
Yeah, and see that second spore that Larva just made? That is specifically to stop the mutas from harassing his lings to allow Larva's, or Action's lings into the main.
So Action's actually going to try to seesaw the game. He's stopped making mutas. He's only making Zerglings. And what he's going to do is come in here and try to win the ground fight. If he wins the ground fight, the lings will kill the spores, and then it's
now I think he'll make. Oh, that's going to be a third spore.
So Larva's misread this.
Yeah, I feel like I was like, oh, if he's making a sunken there, that's maybe a beautiful read.
Now notice how the mutas actually are attacking the Zerglings.
Yeah.
That's because all he needs is for these Zerglings to win this fight.
Yeah, and now that there's no Zerglings left, like, he can go anywhere he wants. Okay, he actually switches it into a sunken now. Very intelligent move. Definitely needs that sunken more than a third spore.
Okay, I think he's going to just give up on this and take an easier fight here where he can actually win this.
This feels like an Action victory right now.
Yeah, it's looking like it. It's hard to imagine somebody coming back from this. Note the position of the mutas. They can kill lings off as they come in here to try to help defend. Wow. Now keep in mind, it's 2 hatches versus 1. So, you know, it's easier for Action to make mutas here. I'm sorry, make Zerglings. I'm sorry, it's easier for Larva to make Zerglings here. I started to swap their colors here. It's easier for him to make more Zerglings because he has 2 hatches compared to the 1 hatch here from Action.
Bingo.
Okay,
Bingo.
They got it.
More lings being made, though, from Action. Wants to continue to keep this pressure on.
The thing is, if he doesn't kill Larva here, Larva's got 2 bases.
Yeah.
You know?
Eventually, you can mine a lot of gas or have enough lings to do something.
Is he going to try to sunflush this?
Are you kidding me?
I believe he was, unless that's a grave error, I believe he was going to try to make 1 sunken colony over there.
Yeah, I think he's trying to force a fight where his mutas can actually have more damage. I do think you're right about that.
All right, here we go.
This is so funny.
He's going to make it on his opponent's creep. Oh, just barely, though he drives that away. I think if this doesn't get set up, we're eventually going to see Larva stretch this into a win.
Action right now has taken so many extra hits from those spores. He's having a hard time with that. Like, I like the creativity, but it doesn't seem like it's working.
Yeah. And again, Larva's on 2 bases, guys. I mean, in the long run, he's going to win this. Now he comes in here once more to kill off all the drones.
Ooh, gets 1. All right, still keeps most of his drones alive at least.
Again, every drone that's killed is so bad here for Action.
Very true.
I like the spire placement back there in that nook above the minerals in the main.
Definitely hard to get to. All right, mutas flying across. Action. Still not mining gas. Still very into his Zerglings. More spores being made. Honestly, don't think it's exactly what he needs right now. Oh boy, that's a dead spire. If you just continue this micro, if you're only taking 1 spore shot per volley, you can kill the
It might have actually been better to have that like in the way of the minerals.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
Okay, good control here by Action. Oh gosh, loses 1 drone. Excuse me. This is such a tricky situation. I almost wonder if you should have put that spire on top. I think at the natural, not right next to the 2 spores, because I think actually this might cost Larva here.
Yeah, I could see that happening for sure.
You got to see though.
Ooh, good pullback on that drone.
Yeah, preempting that attack there. Okay, Action's decided he can't get in there and kill that. And so that spire for Larva should finish now. Now Action's going to make a hatchery down there in the bottom, in a location that might just not get scouted.
Yeah, wow,
so this is going to be a big factor here as well.
Yeah, it could be hard for him to actually just take the natural because he'll see it, and then you can actually put a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, well, it's also very easy for Larva to fly mutas and run links over to where you would normally expand here. This probably should have happened a little bit sooner.
It feels like he was going for the kill move for so long, he missed out on all the peripheral damage that he could have done.
Yeah, well said. So we've got 2 sets of Scourge coming out here. It's 2 Scourge to kill 1 Mutalisk. But a lot of times if it's Muta Scourge fighting each other, you want only 1 Scourge to hit each Muta because then the Glaives will kill the other Mutas there. Whoa! Oh my god. One goes down, one goes down. He's going to try and intercept this.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to kill off the rest.
Now with proper micro, you can flick the Mutas around and hit Scourge before they hit you if you have enough Mutas to one-shot it.
Scourge still flying free right now.
Now he's going to try to just come up over the egg so a Muta dies. Oh, that's... Oops. That was... Oh, what's that intentional?
No, I think the first one was unintentional, the second one was intentional. I think if you hit one, you may as well do the other, you know?
Yeah, sure.
I don't see any reason why you'd be like, no, I need to save this 1 Scourge and not kill that injured Obi.
Okay, again, Muta Snipes coming in here. Larva just barely hanging on, trying to get just some more workers out here. Oh, he's trying to run this in here. The problem is if the Scourge aren't connecting, he's getting literally no value out of them. This isn't a unit that trades into other units. It's like...
Well, maybe that's exactly what it does, but
no, but what I mean is like, it's not like it just does damage in a fight. You know what I mean? Like you literally get nothing if it gets shot out.
You get everything or nothing.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I meant to say.
Okay. It's not like it suicides into another unit. I'm like, no. You're messing up what you're trying to say, Tasteless. That's exactly what it does, okay?
The Extractor's continuing to be hit over here. Again, Larva just not quite connect.
Oh! It's funny to watch these drones actually turn after the fight right now.
Well, you know, at this point in time, Action has plenty of drones.
I wish Sunken's had kill counts, because that Sunken has done so much work this game. It's actually crazy. So Larva trying to squeeze out Mutas at this point. Definitely a bit behind in that. Having a hard time even mining as much gas as Action, who, by the way, is about to double his gas income.
Seems like Action is getting close to having a closer here.
Yeah, it does.
He was in a very bad spot, but he basically survived. This is an incredibly long ZVZ, by the way. Oh, you're kidding me. Did he not see it?
I think he did see it.
Oh, okay. I actually thought.
I think he went far enough up the ramp, because that's a reverse ramp, so there's like squares where you see the top from the bottom. Yeah, so I'd be surprised if he actually did not see the creep there.
One thing also is that because Larva has spores up, Larva can use his Mutas to actually attack and harass out while still keeping himself safe.
That is a really good point. Okay, so Netherling comes by, starts the harassment. Very annoying. Is this whole pack of Mutas going to go down there to save these drones?
Might have to. You don't know if there's more links on the way.
Yeah. Now, do you have to make a Sunken there? Or make a spore?
Oh my god. Now this is a great play. This is what we were talking about. You can actually come in here and hit these drones. The problem is that like, this is not enough Mutas to kill workers very fast.
No. You know, he does some damage. I think Action's okay with this, though, to be honest.
Well, the problem is like, there is this inevitable Mutalisk arms race that's going on, right?
Yeah.
Action has so many. I don't know if, I'm sorry, did we get the armor upgrade here? Or an attack upgrade, which rarely happens?
No, I don't think we got either. I think it was all skipped this game.
Because in Muta vs. Muta, the armor upgrade is supreme.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The thing is, I think you're...
Oh my god, he got burrowed.
That's a brilliant move.
Oh my god.
What a brilliant move.
I love it. He's so good.
He's so good. Great move by Action. The burrow just... Lings will never get your drones now.
Yeah.
That's a great usage.
Oh, good control.
Yeah.
Takes one Mutalist off immediately there.
So, at this point, though, with this many Mutas, it's really hard to build back up into that because of reasons like what we just saw.
We're back. Sorry, what is the exact Muta count here? Oh my god.
I believe it's like 8 here. Okay,
so
that's
it's 9. And that's 4.
Yeah. It's quite a different number.
But if Larva keeps diving in and killing drones...
Yeah, if you
like
can keep their drone count real low...
You're not, you just will not get more Mutalisks out.
Like, if you killed this hatch... Yeah, I mean, the game is still doable at that point, right?
He's trying to get the...
He needs to get burrow, too.
Yeah. He burrows his own lings over there. I love that, yeah.
Wouldn't that be a funny thing? You burrow the ling on top of the drone, then you unburrow it to force the drone up. That should work.
Okay, so
he's got
it was actually +1 attack here.
Yeah, I think that's good. If you're the one going Muta and they are not on Muta yet, you should always have the Muta advantage regardless.
But keep in mind, if Larva ends up getting the armor upgrade, his Mutas are simply put better. Obviously, 0-0 is just not going to be as good as 0-1, but
yeah.
Again, remember that these Mutas have glaives, so like every time they fire, the odds of a glaive hitting the low HP Mutalisk is quite high. And so you could just end up losing Mutalisks without even them being necessarily targeted down here, you know?
Ooh, action with just enough Lings up here to stop any harassment from Larva. You see Larva's really struggling at this point. We're on a 16-minute ZVZ.
Yeah, this is crazy.
You think Larva's going down the right path of continuing on the Mutalisk tech?
Yeah, I think so.
I just wonder if there's at some point he wants to switch this up a little bit. He's taking so much damage. He's lost his geyser a bunch of times.
What do you think he should be going for?
Well, the thing is, I feel like it is 0 to win on Mutalisk tech now. So I would say anything most likely being just going into Hive. Like, there's really nothing else you can do, right? Go up into Hive, and then it's like dealer's choice, right? Do you want Devourers? Do you want Defilers? He has a lot of money put into Spores, which is a prerequisite for having to do that.
Right.
So I feel like with how well Action has defended, how little damage he's taken, his Mutalisk count, the fact he already has +1 attack, the comeback road of winning with Mutas is like another 10 minutes long for Larva.
That might be his game plan.
How do you do that? You plan in 10 minutes ahead in a ZVZ?
I think the best bet is that he keeps flying out with his own Mutalisk. There's a big open area, right? If he can just get in there. Okay, hold on. He's actually going to go for the fight. And keep in mind, that's +1 attack Mutas there, so that's a lot more damage being sprayed in. Mm-hmm. So one thing about Muta versus Muta with Scourge is that because the Scourge, you don't want them to connect. It gives a little bit of like a fight tempo edge here for the Muta Scourge guy, because he can keep moving shot those Mutas while the other Mutas have to flick shot the Scourge first. So here we see that.
Ooh, nice.
All about having the right angling here.
Yeah, a lot of Scourge out. So this is Larva's real plan, is to get his Scourge connect, because his Mutas will not win this alone.
Right.
Oh my gosh, there's just so many Mutas out there.
Oh, great attack here by Action.
Yeah.
This is such a good ZVZ.
Yeah, this is a really high quality one. Look at Action even pulling back, knowing that the Mutas are coming back.
Yeah, he's being really smart.
Yeah, he's
not
overextending
overextending
as well. Awesome, awesome play from Action here tonight. Everyone's saying he's not going to get out, but this is like what he does. This is what he does. He just comes here very quietly to ASL all the time and then beats people.
Yeah.
Does it at KSL as well.
Okay, we're actually going to see that Extractor go down despite the presence of the Spore. There's just so many Mutas. Seems like Action basically has this one in the bag. I think we need like a real miracle play here from Larva. At this point in time, Action's actually just banking some Mutas back at home. Yeah, that's it. GG.
Yeah.
All right.
Not surprised.
Great game. We're tied at 1-1.
Oh, very well done there by Action. And, you know, now he's one map from coming out first in the group. No one thought he'd get first. One person thought he'd get second. I mean, it's a tough group, there's no doubt. It's a hard one to choose. But
very intense today.
Yeah, he seems a little bit more stressed than normal.
Well, that was a real uphill fight. Not going to say Larva looked like a real formidable opponent. He was behind through most of that game, and Action was not able to close it out. Larva's a fighter, man.
No, he is. He's very creative in situations like that too. It was tough though. Like even if you look at some of the placements, like just the fact that he was 12 o'clock made that harder because the gas sticks way out on the side.
Yeah.
Like if he was the bottom right spot instead, the Spores will actually cover the gas a little bit better while covering minerals. Whereas here, that spot it's a bit harder. Now that alone isn't why he won the game or lost the game, but just saying. Now, coming up next, we're going to be going into Multiverse, which this could get truly crazy. Because if you're on opposite sides here and you cut everything off, you don't have to make Lings anymore or worry about Ling attacks, like ever again. And in that case, we could see a full-on Hive Tech game.
I'll take that.
Right? Because if you both are going drone Muta nonstop, like it would have to get to that point first, obviously, but yeah. Oh, God, I really hope they spawn on opposite sides.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see where the spawns are.
Not close air either. Give me the diagonal. Oh, that would be the perfect game.
Okay, Multiverse, the last map between these two. The winner of this series goes on the round of 8 in the ASL. Let's go.
Now playing in Multiverse.
Okay, gave me half of what I wanted. We have action here in the bottom top-ish left, and Larva in the bottom left. Okay, so they're very unbelievably close by air, but quite a long ways on ground, and they are in a position where you could, kill off all those assimilators and make it an air map, basically. Because you are never going to find the time to open up those temples. They're stacked. You'd have to get lurkers to Zerg to get them.
Yeah.
And that's
like
not going to happen.
Literally like the worst unit you could get in this matchup.
Until the game is extremely late and mutas are done, lurkers are never, ever, ever used here.
Yeah.
Now, if we get to that situation, like you can find a couple really weird games with like Hydra Lurker or something, but not until Defilers are ruling the matchup, which can occur in very crazy games. Can you ever see a lurker? So that would be the only point in where the map would be opened back up. Here's the craziest question I'll ever ask you, and I'll shut my mouth afterwards. I'll never speak again.
All right, yeah, good.
Is there some chance, if they shut this map down, we see on offensive Nidus? You can build a Nidus on your opponent's creep.
No,
and you don't have
actually
any Zerglings. Could we see an offensive Nidus?
Sure. The thing is, first you have to somehow get to the point where you're getting rid of their overlords, and you have vision of their
fly a muta in, a scourge in. There's lots of ways to do
something
it.
like that.
Yeah,
I'd love that. The question is, of course,
I don't think it's ever happened. Ever? I don't think. Maybe.
Get ready for somebody to angrily tweet at you about a game from 13 years ago that you
2003.
somehow didn't see. Yeah.
Like, yeah, 2003 was real StarCraft, all right.
So, with the nature of these spawns here, this is where you get the quickest possible scout. The Overlord gets over there, and so you're in an awkward position because obviously you can only build on creep. They both only have one hatchery, so they both see exactly what the other side's doing.
Feels like both sides should go for Mutalist Crush here.
I think so. Layers starting.
Like, you can make Lings, but the fact that you're already completely scouted, the travel distance of both the Lings and then the Mutas, it's just like Mutas are gonna, the amount that they will reign supreme on this map is absurd.
The classic example of when this started happening was on Lost Temple, like 6 o'clock versus 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
That was sort of the, in the back of the day, it was like, oh, this is kind of a funny, weird situation. We just both see what each other are doing, okay?
Yeah. And I used to play a lot of ZVZ when Lost Temple was a map, and it was funny when you would scout someone that quickly.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, back then, the prevailing theory was to just continually make drones.
Yes.
Because whoever makes his pool a little bit later has the advantage.
Right.
But the thing is, at this point, people are so good that they'll make their pool, and then you'll have half a drone more than them, and they'll just out-micro you. So they're like, no, I'm not doing this stupid only make drones thing. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's funny that now that we're here in 2019, the game is totally different.
Oh my God. So very, very interesting. I want to point out is that Action made a macro hatch in his main base.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool, but Larva made his out of range of the Overlord. Like in the top left of his base. I'm trying to figure out what else that will be for. Maybe it's like a scout for mutas coming in.
I think the idea is actually that because Action should have a proper read and know that there should be a hatchery, he might think there's a hidden base.
Yeah,
and there's not.
I don't know if his Overlord has seen it yet. I don't think so. I think it's just out of range. When the creep pops, you'll actually be able to see the creeps start to move. So you will know eventually.
Spire about halfway done, so we should start seeing some Larva get banked. Keep in mind when they're both going for Spire, sometimes the other player doesn't make the mutas and makes a few more Lings and tries to win the fight that way.
Yeah, and I don't think that we're going to see Spores too likely because they're both doing a very similar build. But if we were to, obviously Action's base layout, both with the buildings that he made, see the creep next, so he sees what's going on, but also with just where their gases are placed. This is another one of the bases Larva has where your gas is so far off from your minerals that you can't realistically make a spore to defend it.
Okay, Action is about to start to make his mutas. Now, when you send these lings like this, you're trying to scare them into making lings, and so that they don't make their mutas. So we have some coming out here. Even the Overlord, if he stops that over the lings like that, oh, he's not going to do it. Excuse me. I was going to say you can want to make it harder for them to attack click them.
Yeah.
So he actually forced some more lings here for Larva.
Yeah, Larva's playing safe. Action has spent his gas bank. I'm very interested, actually, if either of them are starting.
Now, this is the most important part. This is the key moment. How did the Scourge connect? I feel like Action's actually not quite going this right. Okay, one
Ooh,
Scourge
he gets it. Okay, misses one, but still, that's super good. A pair of Scourge is worth one hit on a muta. Most of the time.
Now, Action's actually flying over. Oh, hold on. Oh. Great control. You do not want your Scourge to hit their Scourge, by the way. Only very rare circumstances would you ever want that.
So he's starting to get some damage done. The thing with the lings really worked out well. Oh my god, and he catches Larva's muta. That's huge. The aggressor generally has the advantage in ZVZ, and you can really see that shown here.
So good. He's going to force him to micro that while he comes in here to hit drones. You can't have your screen in multiple places at once, so right now I think Action just is going to put on the killing blow here. This is so many kills.
Yeah, this is massive, massive damage. It's looking like Action wins.
Yeah, Larva's going to try to go across the map. And remember, everybody voted that Action was not going to get out of this group. Yep. Only one person voted he might get out second, and it looks like he's actually going to advance out first.
One day they'll stop underestimating the kid.
Yeah, we do it too sometimes. I'm like, God, this guy is really, really good. He can kind of basically beat anybody.
That would be the opposite. That would be saying it how it is. Don't you ever talk down about yourself, Cases. You're right, he's really good and he can beat anybody.
And we see Larva trying to remake the drones, but this is a pretty easy layup. Yeah, there it is. GG. I was going to say, like, Action did it. Congratulations. He'll be moving on to the round of 8.
Okay, first place in this group, as I think he probably expected.
Larva probably pretty annoyed that he lost that. Whoever he faces in the final best of 3 is a real Zerg killing machine.
It's very true. We're going to go to an interview with Action in just a moment here, see how he feels about bucking those predictions of the other pros.
And that'll be translated by Andy. We're going to get to see how Action's feeling, and then after this, we're going to have a best of 3 to decide who gets eliminated from Group B in the ASL. And I think that interview should be set up now. And so we're going to be going to that now. No, tried.
Almost. Very close.
Now.
Does that look like an angry dog's mouth?
ASL 시즌 A
we have our
16강
first
비조 경기
winner
함께하고
of Group B
계십니다.
round of
비조에서
16.
가장 먼저 8강에
And
진출한
he is
김성대 선수와
Action.
함께하겠습니다. 축하드립니다.
Congratulations. Thank you.
자, 승자전을 통해서 정말
After
빠르게
winning
8강
the winners
진출 확정
match,
지으셨는데요.
you secure your
쉽지만은
spot
않았습니다.
in the round of
승리 소감
8.
어떠세요?
How do you feel?
사실 이때까지
Honestly,
저번에는 이제는 그 리쌍 조합 되게 빡센 조도 많았는데 뭔가 오늘이 제일 기쁜 것 같고
apart from the Lisang match, I think today I feel really good, really happy. I'm really satisfied with
준비를 굉장히
performance.
철저하게 해오셨다는 느낌을 경기
it
안에서
feels like you
받았습니다.
really prepared
이재호 선수의 경기 얘기를 좀
well for this
해보자면 이
tournament.
초반에 이재호 선수가 굉장히 좀 흔들려는 시도를 많이 했는데
At first,
크게
Light
휘둘리지
was trying
않고
to
좀
shake you
수월을
left and
빨리 가는
right,
선택을
but
하셨어요.
you fended off that really well.
제 개인적으로는 이제는
Yeah,
맵이 원래
personally,
저그가 되게 좋다고
I feel like the map was very favored for Zerg players.
남들과 다른 운영을 만들어 보려고 했는데
So I try to macro quite differently to other players.
하면은 양쪽 상품까지 박아도 부유하길래
But you know, I made the sunken colonies and I still had the
이봉규
economy
선수의
to do other things.
경기에서는 사실 첫 번째 세트 패배 이후에 두
after the
번째
first set,
세트도 사실 중반까지는 쉽지 않았거든요.
You know, the second set was quite arduous between you and Larva.
몰래멀티까지 가면서 승리를
And then you
가져가셨습니다.
did pick up
언제적
expansion
승리
and then you gained the
예상하셨나요?
win in the end.
우선은
What do you
원래
think about that
제가
one?
빌드랑 서치랑 너무 다 거의 진짜 100으로 밀려가지고
The build and
빡세다고
the search,
생각했는데
everything, I was on the back foot.
홍규랑 첫 판도 그렇고 두
And in
번째
the first
판도
set
이제
and the
링싸움
second
하는데
set,
홍규가 약간
in the Zergling fight,
이게 약간 쫀 건지 긴장한
it
건지
felt like
보이더라고요.
Larva was quite nervous,
데도 소극적이길래
and his Zergling control wasn't all that
잘만 하면
good.
이길 수도 있겠다 했는데
And then I felt like I had the chance to win, and it worked out
아무래도
in the
두
end.
번째 세트 승리를 가져가고
After
나서
picking up the win in
김성대
the
선수
second set,
자신감이 제대로 붙은 것
you
같습니다.
really
마지막
regained your
세트에서
poise.
좀 빠르게 뮤타를
And in
뽑는
the third
선택을
set,
해주면서
you opted for
승리를
the quick
가져갔는데
Mutalisk and a
김윤환
phenomenal
선수가
Mutalisk control
김성대
gave you
선수를
the win
보고
in
이
the third
본인의
set.
전성기와 같은 경기력을
The
보는 것
felt like
같다.
we were watching you
이런 얘기를
in
했다고
your
해요.
prime today.
좀
Actually.
어떠세요? 기쁘십니까? 이런
Are you
칭찬이?
happy?
근데 솔직히 제가 현역 때는 유난히
Well,
형이
my
되게
prime.
엄청나긴 했어요. 되게 잘해가지고
I was quite good.
현역 때 비교하면은 되게
But
과분한
compared to my
칭찬이라고
prime, I don't
생각하는데
think this is a really
뭔가
good
지금
performance.
이야기하니까 조금
But now that I'm talking about it now, I
자,
think this is
점점
quite
더
satisfactory.
강력한 저그의 모습을 찾아가고 있는
It
김성대
feels like your
선수입니다.
reserve play is
자,
getting
마지막으로 또
better and better
응원해주신
day by day.
팬들에게도 한마디
And
부탁드려요.
any words
항상
to fans?
똑같은 말을 하는 것 같은데
I think I say the same thing every
항상
time.
연습시켜주셔서 고맙고
You know, thank you guys for helping
제가
me with the
이번에
scripts.
마지막에 게임이 좀 안 되다 보니까 방송을 아예 거의
I've been
쉬면서 혼자
underperforming a
생각을 많이
bit,
했거든요.
so I've
그래가지고
kind of
빌드도 잘
stopped
짜온 것
streaming
같고
a little bit.
이제 게임 내용도 좋았는데
And then I
그런
was,
거를
I was busy
항상
thinking of builds and
배려해주시고
strategies.
좋게 생각해 주셔서 정말 감사하다고.
But thank you guys for rooting for me.
이 팬들의 취업풀 중에 흑화된 김성대는 정말
And,
무섭다
you know, we
이런
got to see
취업풀이
some
기억에
amazing
남네요.
placards
앞으로도
today
더
for
멋진
you.
김성대 선수의 모습
And we
기대하겠습니다.
hope to see
축하드립니다.
more
감사합니다.
better performance from you in the future. Thank you.
자, 지금까지 첫 번째로 8강에 진출한 김성대 선수와
Okay,
함께했고요.
thank you, Andy.
계속해서
Very
여러분을
cool to
위해
see
준비-
action moving on again. He can basically beat anybody.
Yeah, you look great tonight.
It's yeah,
Goes forward. It's great to see.
and the pros did not expect him to get out again. Eventually, everybody's just gonna have to come to terms with the fact that this guy is a killer.
Yeah, I think
And
he's
probably
actually like
favored in pretty much every.
He
every
really is
matchup.
a round of 16 to round of 8 guy. You know, I don't
Yeah,
think he's
no,
a
I'd
round of
say-
4 guy.
I'd say a straight up round of
Absolutely
8 guy.
Yeah, maybe.
By the way, hang on to your tickets. We do have a giveaway at the end of the show. We have little mini fans that we're giving out jerseys and mouse pads.
Very good. Yeah,
I did
Good
it this
stuff.
time.
You nailed it. I tell you, I could use one of those mini fans right now. It's getting hot out here.
It is hot under these lights, especially.
I was talking more about sitting next to you, but okay.
There's nothing quite like wearing a blazer like this in the summer heat, Artosis.
That's right. That's what I like to wear. I lose weight quicker. It's amazing. I call it my sweat blazer.
We're going to go to a break. When we come back, the elimination match. Do not go away.
So good. Feeling so good.
안녕하세요. ASL을 사랑해주시는 팬 여러분. 둘, 셋.
왓츠럴 칼러. 안녕하세요. 바이올렛입니다.
저는 먼저 팀에서 리더를 맡고 있는 구슬입니다.
저는 메인 보컬을 맡고 있는 도연입니다.
저는 팀의 막내 이은입니다.
저는 바이올렛의 메인 댄서 윤경입니다.
저는 미소와 에너지를 맡고 있는 열이입니다.
기럭지를 맡고 있는 다다입니다.
저희가 이번 시즌 ASL 24강 개막전 현장을 맥킴 오빠, 승현 오빠를 응원하기 위해서 몰래 찾아갔었는데요.
결국 카운터 펀치를 날리지 못했었고 그러면서 이렇게 좋은 분들이 있어서 응원해주고 힘내주는 분들
너무 광탈을 해가지고 좀 마음이 아쉬웠어요. 근데
의자에 앉자마자 집에 갔죠.
네, 저희 멤버들이 그때 이후로 스타크래프트 재미에 완전 푹 빠져 있잖아요.
맞아요. 그래서 저는 영상들도 여러 개 찾아봤는데 그 영상에 깔려있는 음악들이 너무 좋더라고요.
저희는 앞으로 이번 시즌 ASL 음악들을 여러분들께 소개하는 코너로 찾아갈 예정입니다.
이름하여 바이올렛의 뮤직인 ASL. 첫 곡은 ASL 시즌 8 방송 클로징 곡인 Sum 41의 45입니다. Sum 41은 올해로 23년 차를 맞이한 캐나다 출신의 팝펑크 락밴드인데요. 경쾌한 리프와 에너지 가득한 음악들로 2007년 후기 프로리그 타이틀 등 여러 스타 리그에서도 자주 들을 수 있었죠. 아마 Sum 41의 가장 헤비한 음반이 되지 않을까 하는 7월 발매 예정 정규 7집 오더 인 디클라인의 수록곡 45 함께 감상하시죠.
Now worthy of name, a number you get, symbol of meaningless, void of respect, a matter of time, you what you've earned. We'll take pleasure in watching you burn. So tell me, is this what the future primitive world's supposed to be? A total abomination's what it looks like to me. It's a mask assassination, a character assassination. And for the hell was done, we tell we all stand up, go. I believe that I am losing faith in all of you, mankind, but then I realize it's plain to see that a number is all you want to be. I believe that I am losing faith in all of humankind. As then I realize it's plain to see that a number is all you are to me. I believe that I am losing faith in all of humankind. But then I realize it's plain to see that a number is all you are to me. I believe that I am losing faith in all of humankind. But then I realize it's plain to see that a number is all you'll ever be. Whatever you get.
저희는 ASL에서 쓰인 다양하고 좋은 곡들과 함께 돌아올 테니 많은 기대 부탁드리겠습니다. 지금까지 마추라 카라 바이올렛이었습니다.
OLED TV ASL Season 8 Expansion.
All right. We've got 2 players now in the losers match. We're going to get rid of one of them.
This is the match everyone's been waiting for, Tasteless. Someone goes home sad.
That's right. Feels bad, man. This is going to be a killer match. I actually think Light's going to have a very hard time. Mini is so strong. And he's got a very unusual PVT. He's able to do... It's not quite Snow, but you know when I say that, Snow is the greatest PVT player of all time. I mean, he is so. But Mini, he styles on Terrans.
He does.
He makes Terrans look like buffoons sometimes.
He's
I mean,
so good.
Some of the stuff he's able to do, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And I feel like Light, even though he's a great modern player, he does tend to bring a little bit of an older flavor in some of these games, and I feel like. I hope Light can take it, but again, Light really celebrated for his TVZ, and Mini is one of the hottest Protosses right now. We're going to start this on Overwatch. Game 1 begins now. Oh, sorry.
Now playing in Overwatch.
Now.
Oh my god.
I was going to get it eventually.
Yeah. All right. This is Mini in the bottom right. Light in the top left. Map is Overwatch. Overwatch is a bit of a Protoss map. You know, you say Light play is kind of an older style. Yeah, I can't completely disagree with you. I mean, he's very old Terran at this point. I think that there's a few things about Light. Like, Light is if you want to watch a Terran to improve, it's actually Light. It's not any of the other guys. Like, if you are actually looking to just become a better Terran player, this is the guy on Earth to watch. It's not Flash, it's not Last, it's not Sharp, it's not Rush, it's Light. He plays very standard styles most of the time. His mechanics are really super top-notch. He doesn't do a lot of the ridiculously fancy stuff. He just plays really damn good Terran. Now, that's used against him sometimes in tournaments. Like, Light is a player that more was expected of him. He's always been solid, like he was a great Pro League player, but he doesn't have any championships or anything. But if you look at the level of his base play, he looks like a championship level player. And that's just something he has never even come close to.
Right.
And it's always a disappointment in these tournaments. Like, he always goes out before he should. And part of that might be just kind of the style he utilizes. He doesn't use too many mind games. He's you know, a little bit
He's sort of the opposite of Sharp.
Yeah, he's very different from Sharp. He's closer to like a Last or Flash, but they kind of plan better and play on the fringes more.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, he's a fantastic Terran, and I'm always rooting for him to go far because you're just not going to learn more from other Terrans, really.
So, we'll see what type of builds are going to come here. One thing to note is that Terran did not take any risks and try to make a command center right away, and Protoss does not appear to be doing, well, so far is not doing any kind of proxy.
Well, that's actually the cheesiest thing you can do on this map is neither proxy nor offensive gas.
Right.
Right? It's like, it is so common on this map. It is, you can't play a ladder game without it happening, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
It's just every game they will do one or the other, or both. Or, you know, it's, but Mini's just kind of playing normal. I guess that, you know, that's a little bit of a mind game itself.
Okay, so we're going to have that factory thrown down here in a second. And Mini, we don't really have any idea what kind of game he's going to bring us yet. There's so many ways that Protoss can play this. Generally speaking, you're going to get a Dragoon and then get Dragoon range and then probably expand. But the number of deviations from that build are large. So, you know, you just sort of... I think PvT was the real matchup where you got to see the elasticity of the way Protoss can be played, where there's so many different approaches that can be had, and so many ways to exploit Terran, which, although Terran late game is very strong, PvT Terran is very flimsy, and if the Terran is not very, very good at the early game, a lot of times Protosses will just wreck them.
Yeah.
It's one of the weird things about people that try to learn StarCraft now, is that you have some very difficult parts of the game that have to be mastered. For instance, people that try to learn Protoss have a very hard time now trying to learn PvZ early on.
Yeah.
It's so hard that it's difficult to get into any kind of, you know, mid-game where you're actually trying to do what you wanted to do. You're basically having to learn how to survive every possible deadly attack. And a lot of Terran games were like that against Protoss early on.
Yeah. It's, you know, players have gotten a lot better at stopping these. For instance, you saw that bunker that Light made right away. That just kind of makes it so that you will never die to early Dragoon rushes if you know how to branch off, how to repair and just get your tank downtime, things like that. Now, what is Light's follow-up? We're about to see very, very soon here. He's going to have to make his decision. Like, is he going for a second factory, or is he going Academy Armory, or is he doing something crazy? Oh, nice move there. That he just forced a Vulture out. You unload the bunker to take the hits so your Vulture can get by.
And finally, this SCV's killed. Now let's see if there's anything weird. I don't think we're going to have it from Mini. I think he's going to play a very standard game, probably get 2 more gateways. I am curious to see if we're going to have the Reaver main. It's so common now.
Yeah, it's very common, but Light, I think, is kind of prepped for it. He's started a starport, which on maps like this, it's not completely uncommon now to go starport quickly, and that can be a very good counter against Reaver.
Now, one thing is, if Protoss just goes for a 3rd gateway and observers, this is like basically should be countered.
Yes, that's a really good point. If you go Observer 3-gate or Observer 2-gate, the dropship play should not do anything, and if they made a Wraith, it's worthless. Or close to, at least. So that definitely does give you the advantage there.
Looks like we are not going to have that Reaver play, at least yet.
Yeah, he can still go for it, but and you almost kind of want him to when you have a starport, because then you have an opportunity to kill the first shuttle, and then it's like you have a nice tempo advantage right there. But you know, it's not unplayable from Light's perspective either. Notice he's laying down a bunch of mines right now. These are just to kind of scout when Protoss is trying to take an additional base.
Yeah, well, also, if you see a shuttle fly out, then you make that raid.
Absolutely. And he'll be having a dropship come up very shortly here to try to get in there. No doubt he got speed upgrade.
How fast does a Wraith make? Did you get a Wraith out? If you saw with one of those mines a shuttle leaving, would you have a Wraith finished by the time the shuttle gets there?
No. But, I mean, they don't take too long. Like, you can run SCVs around and kind of buy a little bit of time and stuff. But I think once he sees these Dragoons hitting the mines at this time, I think you probably skip the Wraith. It does not feel like a Reaver build. It's
there
going
it
to
is.
be, but that's fine.
Yeah, much later Reaver here. But I think this is smart. Now, the Vultures, can they get a run by here? I think that actually, that's not...
Oh! That is
perfect.
A heartbreaker.
Perfect control by Mini.
Yeah,
I was certain that was going to get by.
Sometimes the vultures get caught on the edge of a unit like that, will not move.
Now we have a dropship coming out. It's in the north. It's going to pick up those vultures that attempted to run by, and instead drop them in the natural and maybe even the main too.
He should
Is there no siege mode? I don't think
there's no siege mode yet.
Oh, how funny.
You always get it pretty late with this build.
By the way, I think you should know then that there's going to be a drop here. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Well, his Dragoons are in his main, so maybe he thought it was coming to the main base. Oh, you cannot lose that. You cannot lose that right now.
Okay, nice save there.
All right, well, he has locked himself in there. Looks like the bunker will be repaired in time, and the siege tanks push back the goons.
Mini really on top of everything here.
Yeah, yeah. Feels like a pretty even game right now.
And the first observer goes down, and it's going to be into a carrier tech here. And this is kind of the way to do it nowadays.
Yeah. This is really common on this map. Like, Mini has played a very safe build, and I think the reason he's played the build exactly like this, with the Observer into the Reaver, totally chilling on 2 bases going towards carriers, is because it's really strong on the map. It takes a while for Terran to get over and actually attack you, so you kind of have that extra time.
So, Mini basically looking bulletproof here. Now, you got to go for this here. He's going to try to come in. He's actually going to bulldog it. This is what I was talking about with Mini. He just sometimes absolutely dunks. And I love this. He went for the SCVs there. He's going to get both the tanks. This is what a technique called the bulldog. That's what they usually do it with just 4 zealots. And you're basically just running there trying to, oh my god, trying to get the kill on the tanks, because the tanks are basically the backbone of the rush.
Yeah.
Everything is actually there to protect the tanks, so the tanks can drive away the attack.
Yeah, kind of a reasonable attack there, overall.
I'm always amazed at how good Mini is at keeping kind of on top of all these little things. There's actually a lot of stuff Protoss has to do. And if they make a mistake, like they're not keeping track of the shuttle or the observers or having the Dragoons in the exact perfect spot, a Terran can get in there and do so much damage. He's just so on top of everything. And again, losing those tanks, let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah.
Obviously, the moment that the carrier tech is started, Terran has to consider getting Goliaths and getting a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
And so, a Terran ground army is, oh my god, hold on. Okay, never mind. A Terran ground army is much scarier if it is Vulture tank for the Protoss.
Yes.
Because Vultures, they kill Zealots and very quickly, they lay mines. And actually, they're pretty handy for tanking Dragoon shots that the siege tanks can deal the damage to the Dragoons. A Goliath tank army, which is what happens when you're going against carriers, is a much weaker ground army, ground to ground. So when you get in there and kill those tanks, because the tanks are the real damage dealers, right? They're going to kill the Dragoons. Dragoons do not fear Vultures. They do not fear Goliaths. They fear tanks and the stuff that's with the tanks. So taking out those tanks means that Mini's going to be a lot scarier on the ground. And a lot of the carrier play, it used to be carrier play was like you get an overwhelming amount and you can beat their Goliaths. And now it's much more of a balancing act.
Yeah.
Is that you kind of have enough carriers and you have enough ground army that they sort of kind of can't do anything about it.
It's such a sharp time nowadays when you're going for these carrier builds, where it's like, you know, you're getting them at a point where you can kind of punish, and if they misstep at all, then you really punish because the tank count is off. Yeah. In this case, you know, he went for a dropship opening that didn't do that much. So it makes it a bit harder because he was already down tanks and then he lost 2 tanks as well.
I don't know if he gets shuttle speed with this, but shuttle speed's very handy.
Yeah.
And trying to, okay.
Just
good shot. Another one on the tank here.
Yeah.
Now, I think that we might have hit this right at the window where the carrier is out, but it's making interceptors.
Yeah, I think so. It's a very nice attack from Light. I'm actually surprised at how quick he's getting across here.
Oh my god. He needs to make those interceptors like yesterday.
He's actually going to break this and kill the 3rd. That is huge. He really should be able to kill this 3rd base.
Well, he's going to back up here. So Vultures are going to slip into the main, or the natural, excuse me.
They're going to run up into that main base now.
Where do those carriers go? Oh, okay. Yeah. So he's remaking them. He needs to get up to about 8.
Light needs to go now. He's actually taking a little bit too long. That's why Mini built a cannon as well. Any time that he buys right now ups the chances that he can keep that army alive. Now he's trying to intercept these units specifically. Looks like he might just barely miss them.
Oh my god. What am I seeing here? Why are the Goliaths not firing? Are you seeing this?
Yeah.
Where are the Goliaths?
There we go.
Okay, something had bugged there.
Yeah. They might have been on pole position or something.
I think so, yeah.
Tweaked out.
I think Light's going to take this, man.
Yeah, no, this is looking pretty strong. He really nailed this, which is, it's very impressive because it's a hard to calculate exactly when to move because he went dropship right, which slowed his tanks anyway. He lost 2 tanks. And then he had a funny number of factories. He had like 5 factories total when he moved out. So he's only on 2 base, let's not forget.
Yeah, I think that might be it, though. I think he's just got too much. The ground army did manage to beat the Terran ground army did manage to beat the Protoss ground army. Now here's where the carriers come into play, right? Because you snipe down the tanks.
Yeah,
you target
to
them
kill those
correctly.
tanks. I mean, it seems like the carriers aren't going to do too much at the end of the day here. And, I mean, he's getting close to getting all the tanks now. Okay, good rally.
Okay, I'm stunned. I was so confident that he would be able to get in there, but apparently not. Now, when 4 carriers get out, that's when the headache really begins for Terran.
Yeah.
Because 4 carriers can actually fight Goliaths. 2 pretty much can't. If the Terran is, worth his weight at all, I mean, you should have enough Goliaths, and two carriers are kind of annoying.
2 carriers don't do much anything.
Yeah. Okay, look at even how long it takes for them to kill this dropship here.
They don't even, he doesn't have the, does he not have the interceptor upgrade? He only has, oh,
yeah,
he
he
has
does.
5. Okay.
You get that like right as the carriers are coming out.
Sometimes people forget it. I've seen it.
That's the worst thing ever.
It's pretty bad. All right, so gonna go ahead and erase his 3rd base again. A reasonable choice. Seems pretty hard to finish him at the moment. But if you can keep him down on those 2 bases, that gives you a better chance. All right, coming back down again. No Zaw legs, but a lot of Dragoons.
Okay, actually, the angle that he's getting in here at, it looks like the carriers have to win the fight against the Goliaths, but if the carriers do, because these tanks are not going to lose to the Dragoons, it doesn't look like.
Yeah, Light holds once again here.
Gosh, had Mini actually kept that base alive, it'd be a very different story here.
Still technically there, but Light going to go ahead and move towards that natural.
Yeah, well, the base is like a paperweight right now, you know what I mean? It's not doing anything. In case you're confused at what you're seeing here, the first time you make a carrier, the interceptors come out one by one until they've all come out. And then every time you attack after that, they'll all come out at once. And so, before these fights happen, the Protoss player will make the carriers attack their own building just to filter out all the interceptors there.
See, I thought it was one of those organ transplant rejection things where the carriers don't want Kiwis to be here because they want more carriers. Okay. Really splattering these Dragoons right now. Yeah, the amount that he's relying on his carriers doing the damage is pretty significant, but he's in a tough spot.
Yeah, that's it, GG.
Yeah,
Mini loses game 1, but it's still a best of 3. There's still a chance for him.
Yeah, I think that map, though, was probably his best shot.
I think so.
It's generally a pretty decent map, especially for builds like he did. But Light was so sharp on hitting that attack.
He really was.
Base. That was really fantastically done. If you miss that timing at all, then they just kind of have enough. They get on the map a little bit. They'll get Zalot legs eventually. He got that into a position where you couldn't even afford to get Zalot legs,
Ground 0 will be map number 2. Mini, one of our more emotional players. I respect it. I mean, he really cares. He really wants to win. That was a tough game. Light looking pretty stellar in his TVP right now, Artosis.
Oh, yeah. Well, he is really good at all 3 matchups. It's just known for his TVC because it's so outlandishly good. Like, he gets a lot of sponsored matches in it and whatnot because people just want to see it.
I love Cass in his PvT. I still think he's got a real shot to take this. Let's go to Neo Ground 0. If Mini wins this, it's on New Bloody Ridge. Sorry. There's 2 map names back to back. All right. Let's go to game 2. Need more map titles with 3 words.
Now playing in Neo Ground
Neo
0.
New.
Yeah. This is the Neo Ground 0, but the other one's just new.
I like, at some points they start changing up. Remember Longinus 2? That's actually Longinus is Longinus 2. Not Shin Longinus. Not Neo Longinus. Not New Longinus.
There's something very funny at play here that had not occurred to me until I just saw the 2 map names next to each other like that, where I'm like, oh yeah, there's sort of a...
Yeah, we have all sorts of weird...
A spin on what is normally the map.
Neo Lost Temple.
Reverse to Lost Temple now.
Yeah.
That was actually a great map, Reverse Lost Temple. I had a lot of fun on it.
Says the Protoss player. That was a terrible, terrible
It was
map.
a great map, Artosis.
It had one of the trickiest moments ever in StarCraft on it, though. Do you remember
the
Casey
Jelizer?
game?
Yeah. Ooh, that's so good. You guys should check that out. It's probably somewhere on YouTube.
Yeah, Casey versus Jelizer, Reverse Lost Temple. Just
Casey
type
with a
it
C.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. It was one of the greatest mind games ever pulled off in any game ever.
Yeah.
In any game ever.
I remember watching that with my brother, and we were just like, what?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out
I won't
what
even
was
spoil
happening,
it.
what
Don't spoil it.
Oh
Just
my
go
God.
check it out.
Yeah, just go check it out. That's good. That's a good point.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got Light in the, Mini in the bottom left and Light in the top right.
Yeah, okay, so these cross spawns, I think that this gets a little bit good for Mini, a little bit better for him. Is he gonna go Nexus first? I don't know yet. We'll see, I guess, but as Terran, I feel like if it's like vertical spawns, you can feel pretty good about that. It's the attack path is kind of easy and it covers a third base that has a gas at it or a fourth base possibly. If it's horizontal, you're like reasonably close. In these positions, actually attacking the Protoss gets very difficult because they're pretty far away.
Protosses tend to prefer distance in this matchup.
Yeah. I think so in general. Yeah, and it is going to be a Nexus first, no big surprise. This is the other thing that really helps with cross spawns. If they're cross spawns, busting that is so much more risky. If you're close and you scout them before you stop making your initial 2 Marines, then you can just like send Marine SCV and rally Vulture and basically kill the Nexus almost every single time. Whereas in these spots, it's so far away. Yeah, it becomes very risky. Sometimes you'll see a pro try it. A lot of times they'll just say, "Screw it, you get it." Congrats. Yeah, you chose the right spawns for this one.
So Mini, very quickly getting a Nexus here. Mini, I'd say one of the most competent mid-game PvT players there is. Yeah, again, let's go back to
That's
that
a good
game.
way to put it.
He does stuff that you just do not see other Protoss players get away with, specifically in this matchup. Like, I know that Snow has got the best Reavers in the world, but some of the stuff that Mini is doing with shuttles, like even in that last game, right? He had like 4 Dragoons at the entrance. He bulldogs with the Reaver on top of the bunker, the Zealots, takes a fight there. He's killing off so much stuff and still gets away. Yeah. And he's not afraid to make more than 1 shuttle as well, which is one of these funny things where, for the vast majority of StarCraft 1's history, Protoss has had moments where they would do like a timing attack and try to get in there, and then it was like, you can't attack the Terran anymore. It doesn't make any sense. Basically, it's a fool's errand once they have enough siege tanks and turrets up.
Yeah.
And it made the matchup a little bit stagnant, actually, just right when you got past mid-game, right past early game, and you're kind of going into mid-game. Is the Protoss is probably just going to stay back and try to take as many bases and get ready for a big push. And you look at somebody like Mini, there seems to be no moment he can't get in there and do damage.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and he actually, definitely he's one of the fathers of that style of play.
Yeah.
And it started, when did it start? Maybe a year-ish ago, he started doing it a lot against the top Terrans. Everyone in the world is better against it now, so you're not going to see it as much out of him, just because everyone's had a lot of practice against these shuttle busts and stuff. But, it's scary when it comes. You're just like, oh my god. Here
we go. I think part of the reason why we didn't see it for so long is there was nothing worse. Is this game music getting louder and louder in your ears?
Yeah, I think the production team
turned it up.
Sorry that we're doing a bad job today. So
just drown him out. Sorry.
I just
felt like I was shouting louder and louder. I'm like, No, I think traditionally, because the idea of losing a dropship or a shuttle was just so unacceptable.
Yeah.
It would never occur to Protosses to just make 3 of them and suicide them into stuff,
Yeah. Okay, so he almost got that Vulture. You got to be careful about that. When someone opens with a Nexus first and you weren't able to punish it, generally the best thing you could do is just go mines, because you can get enough Vultures out there and lay enough mines that if they try to do anything with their units on the map, it's stupid. Maybe it works, most likely not, but it's not the right choice for them. So That seems to be what Light's up to. Just throw down a bunch of mines. He's going starport, so he wants to get the Vulture drop down as well, which is a fine continuation of this. Yeah, it's strategically looking pretty sound for Light since he got that expansion up as quick as he possibly could in this situation.
So there's a little bit of a pylon wall being built up over here, and this is all, it's an old technique, but basically, originally Protoss has never walled anything at all. It's just, you know, they played PvZ by like rushing out of their mains with Zealots or going Corsair Zealot, but now Vultures are such a threat that you actually have to basically build barriers everywhere.
Yeah.
And you want to have very tiny entrances, because it's actually not that difficult to move Protoss units in and out of small points with pylon walls. Some other races it's a little bit harder to get stuff to move around. I'd say Terran mechas can be very frustrating to try to maneuver. But yeah, he's basically, even down here at the main, the pylons, the robo, and the observatory actually make a little bit of a wall there in case there's a drop.
Yeah. Kind of interesting. He's going directly into carrier here. No reaver or anything,
is he?
just directly into carrier, and I mean, I quite like 12 Nexus into 2-base ARB, but
where's the Stargate?
It's at its natural, which is...
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, I think it's... Okay, there it is. Okay, yeah.
A funny thing about this map is you can actually hide an entire strategy at the natural, which doesn't get scanned as often.
Yeah, they tend to scan the big berth area in the main.
Yeah. Observer coming out. Speed Vulture's running around. See what he can get done with this draw. He's going in through the natural, so he's actually going to scout that this is carriers right away.
Yeah, just incidentally, this is going to be discovered.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what he's going to do when he sees that this is carrier. Because the speed of this carrier, if he can figure out that this is not Reaver, but this is carrier.
Oh my God!
I think he loses
you cannot have that happen.
Yeah, that was super easy.
There goes the pin. Protoss has map control now.
He is adding another fact. Yeah, so this is what we should be seeing anyways. When your opponent goes for this strat, because he has an observer hitting his base, there's not a lot. I was going to mention that you can actually counter this build with Marine Medic. Like, if you go into Marine Medic, if you scout this nice and early like he did, and you nail Marine Medic, you can actually just kill everything. But if the observer gets there real quick like this, they do have some time to counterplay into splash damage. To be honest, so like even producing out of the he is producing out of the barracks. I was gonna say, or I was saying, if you just produce some Marine Medic here, you don't need stim or anything. But because their army is basically unupgraded Dragoons and Zealots and a low number of carriers, any amount of Marines and Medics like complement your army massively.
I bet there are people that are totally disagreeing with you, but you are actually right about this. This is a weird thing where everything that Protoss has counters Medic Marine except for unupgraded Tier 1 units and carriers in low numbers. And the thing is, unupgraded Tier 1 units and carriers in low numbers is actually a real threat to a basic mech army, which is what you see 99% of the time. But yeah, if you're to do an alternative unit comp, you could totally screw them up. Now, one thing to note, we have more gateways coming down here. There is a balancing act that can be played here, where you might actually completely park carrier production and get a healthy ground army.
Yeah.
And you just sort of win that because they have these Goliaths that you didn't need to fight. Do we have a Citadel, by the way?
I don't know if we have it yet. He really needs to add it, though. Zealot Legs is the most important upgrade when you're going for carriers. But, okay, so this move out looks fantastic. I hope he added a medic in, because even one medic makes it so much better. But laying some mines, just making sure flanks can't come. That's what those mines are for. Just kind of watching for that. Right? I don't know if he has Goliaths yet, because he just brought Marines, which means that these tanks can be, hurt a little bit.
Keep in mind, the interceptors can fly back in and get full HP. That's why you need a lot of burst damage if you're going to win a fight like that.
The Marines are actually here for tanking, much less so for damage. He's brought his SCVs as well to start building missile turrets, so you can see that Mini is really switching targets a lot here, trying to figure out what the most dangerous thing is. It is the turrets.
yeah, the turrets, if they finish, it's a problem. Now, these 5 Marines are eventually going to be picked off. Yep, Vulture's moving forward now.
Was he too fast getting in here?
The thing is that this is just so much and basically he's lost the fight to control the air here. There should be 2 more carriers coming out, by the way. These carriers have been out for a while now. And as you can see, the Goliaths are actually something that can contest this.
Yeah.
So the carriers have to respect that and back up. Here comes the triple turret throwdown here.
This is really great, these turrets. Like, this is forcing Minion to come up and engage him.
Yeah.
Oh, he was actually on siege when he moved in, though, unfortunately. But still no Zealot legs. Light looking pretty strong right now.
Yeah, he needs to target down the tanks with the Dragoons. He does not.
Yeah. But look, he's finished 2 turrets. He's got a couple siege tanks left. He needs to be sending down more siege tanks, so those are going to be the key here.
It might be preferable to push into the natural here.
I'm
sorry, there's actually no third. I thought there was a Nexus making it the third. Never mind. Yeah, that's the only place he needs to go.
And I think in this situation, the only thing you need to make sure you're doing is non-stop turret building.
There he is, filtering out the interceptors again, so they can be ready to have them all come out right away.
Beautiful play from Light here. I feel like Light is Batman right now. This is the Terran week.
Yeah. And good pull away here. He's keeping these tanks alive and fresh. The Goliath wall sort of mutes the interceptors pretty well here. And the real threat is when this Nexus starts to take damage. Okay, good snipe. Takes out that SCV. Mini's not out, he's not dead yet. And by the way, if you break one of these Terran pushes, there's the option for Protoss to go across the map and smash the Terran's third base. It could look like Terran's about to win, and then Protoss holds off the attack and then wins the game. So.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Especially because some of these sharper early attacks, you don't have many factories behind. So losing your army is much, much worse. Yeah, still plenty of Goliaths here. Been doing a great job erasing these interceptors. The Dragoon's coming down, being pummeled. He hasn't killed him yet, though. Only 2 tanks there. The Goliaths can fight a little bit, at least. I mean, the Dragoons can.
Okay, tanks coming forward. He's so close. He's so close to breaking him. Again, filtering out more of the interceptors. He needs to be able to pounce on top of the tanks and kill them and then pull away. The problem is the ground army's thinning out. He probably had to reset rally points, by the way. He probably has more ground army inside his main.
Yeah, you might be right.
Because if you have a bad rally point, then you have this annoying situation where your army's running into these tanks. Okay, now one of the tanks can hit probes on the farthest to the right patch here. And so he's going to try to come in now and win this fight. Not bad targeting here. The problem is I think the Goliath count is so numerous that the interceptors just die.
Yeah.
And when the interceptors are gone, that's it. GG.
All right, Mini going down. Most people thought he would end up winning this group, but he's actually out in last place.
There are plenty of people that thought he was going to win this tournament, too. So, big win there for Live, showing that it's not just TVZ he's an expert at.
No, Light looking really good. Those were just superb attacks. Really hard to hit things that sharp before your opponent's ready for them. And he did them both off Starport macro openings, so that was really neat. I will be rewatching these games to add to my play. Great play.
Yeah, he clearly had a very thought out answer once he saw what was coming his way and completely shut down Mini. A few executional errors there by Mini. That's harder than it looks to get that tech started up.
And you know he's cutting a lot of corners as well. And you know you kind of almost rely on Terran not playing a perfect game, but they weren't perfect from Light, but they were reasonably close. Like that was really superb play. Like if you just cover up that name, I could be like, yeah, that's Flash.
Yeah,
it just looked
he
very
looked
good.
very perfect. Yeah. A lot of times Terrans will attack into you and they don't have the exact correct number of everything, and the Protoss just wins.
Yeah, if you lose any of those early engagements, you are going to lose the game.
Early game Terran pushes like that are very hard to pull off. I mean, it's. We even saw that when he just had the Marines there, it was like just enough Marines to buy time so that the rest of the push could come in. We're going to a break. We come back. Our final match. Do not go away.
Itt az áldozat nem húzta be a kéziféket, és a saját terepjárója ütötte el. Ezt az embert meggyilkolták. Mi van, ha ezek az esetek összefüggnek?
Tudod, mi lesz itt, ha ezt kiszagolja a sajtó?
Az értelmiség többszörös árulósa.
Holnap reggelig zárd le a saját ügyeidet. Ezt meg felejtsd el.
이번 선거
선생님!
나 대신에 출마해요. 안산 대신에 나 이제 가만 안 있는다고.
칼자루 좀 있는 그 자꾸 야! 정치는 야 배짱이야 배짱!
선거가 장난 같아요 지금?
선거 포기 안 하려니까 말리지 마시오.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
대결을 시작하겠습니다. 모읍니다. 모아요. 네, 저글링 남았어요.
드론까지 지금은 정찰을 보낼 정도로 이것 이외에 나머지가 아무것도 없는 이런 그 상황인데
시야 들어와요.
아 봤죠?
자 버팁니까?
리페어 붙여가면서 머린이 일단 나와서 입구 쪽을 빠르게 두 번째 서플로 입구 쪽을 막아놨기 때문에 리페어 해가면서 버텨내고 있죠.
와 이거 안 깨져요.
네.
벙커는 일단 비워둬서 피하고 가려고 하는데 일단 벙커 범위 밖으로 가야 되거든요.
그렇죠. 자 앉을 자리를 찾는데
GJ 1사 대결을 시작하겠습니다. 레오텍 올립니다. 올라가는 타이밍 일꾼으로 봤죠. 좀 독이 들어왔어요.
SCB 하나 때문에 좀 이 심시티를 하더라도 사실 저글링 선수가 입구 쪽을 지켰어야 되거든요.
이거 타이밍도 말리고요.
네.
보내요.
물을 수는 없고요. 이미 알고 있었기 때문에 지금 건물을 딱딱 두 개 지었던 거예요.
SCV의 그 고귀한 희생 때문에라도
네. 들어와 보는데요.
나왔다 막 길 막고
이게 안 되네요. 지금 병력이 나와서 막기에도 역부족인 상황이거든요. 오, 테크 건물까지.
네. 정면으로 지금은
GJ 1사 대결을 시작하겠습니다.
벌처 차이가 계속 나요.
하나 또 왔어요.
네. 좀 고장난 벌처는 지금 수리를 해가면서 이 지역에서 좀 계속 상대방을 괴롭힐 수 있는데요.
네.
그래서 저 배럭이 생각보다 기룩수를 조금 해줬어요.
네.
일꾼 끊어먹고 일꾼 끊어먹고 일꾼
다 찍어먹고 있어요.
네, 하나 더.
벌초도 하나씩 다 끊어먹으면서
네.
일꾼까지도 점사.
혹은 상대방이 좀 곤란할 만한 이런 상황을 중간에 만들어내기도 했었는데
여기 숫자 차이가 많이 나요.
예, 입구 쪽 병목 구간을 잡히게 되면은 이거는 수비하는 병력이 바깥쪽으로 나와서 좋은 포지션을 잡을 수가 없는 데다가
GJ 2사 대결을 시작하겠습니다.
연락 붙여야 되는데
다시 리페어 여기 또 벌쳐 쓰면서 벌쳐 소수 보내면서 다시 3팩을 만들었거든요. 다수의 벌쳐 특공대 벌쳐를 부대 단위로 운영을 해가면서 후방을 계속 지금은 공략하려고 하고 있습니다.
내려오는데요.
탱크 머리 위쪽에 그 병력을 공수하면서
다행히도 조국성 입장에서 드랍십이 주변에 있어서 그나마 선방을 했습니다.
네.
따라가면서 이렇게
때려서
자 맞대응 하기만 하면 된다라는 생각하고 있을 것 같아요.
드랍십까지.
네.
먹습니까 이거? 더 많은 드랍십이 윤영진 선수의 장점이었거든요.
탱크가 남은 병력이 많지가 않네요.
네.
수비적인 위치에서 드랍십 활용해주면서 계속 잘 막아냈었다 보니까 드랍십이 계속 생존해 있고.
GJ 3사 대결의 시작하겠습니다. 자, 잡아먹을 요 들어가는데 추가 병력 또 오죠. 서로 벌쳐 싸움.
예. 무조건
벌쳐 싸움이에요.
같거든요.
네, 이게 벌쳐 싸움 많아요.
벌쳐예요.
네, 안에. 자, 탱크 쪽으로 들어가서 많이 매설합니까?
네. 벌쳐 싸움에서 좀 잡아먹었기
와,
때문에.
마린!
조기성!
세게!
그래서 이적 압박과 함께 그 드랍십을 돌렸을 때 위험스러운 상황이 있겠습니다.
예.
자, 그러면서 백업 병력 와서
SCV 붙이고 백업
자,
병력.
거리로 자, 내리면 있거든요.
네.
자, 내렸습니다. 뒤에 경력 그래도 여기 아래쪽에 탱크차가 좀 꽤 되긴 해요.
최대한 살아남으면서
팩토리 장악! 팩토리 장악!
자, 이쪽으로 왔어요.
드랍십의 병력 타있지 않으면은 이 병력에 의해서 또 한동안 고생하죠.
상대 드랍십이 어느 정도 위치에 있을지 안 상태에서 빠르게 12시를 제거했다면 이런 사건이 벌어지진 않았을 텐데 말이죠.
7시 쪽의 병력을 일부 소비했어? 그러면은 나 이 지역 마저 뚫을래.
네.
이럴 수 있죠.
가장 중요한 장어줄이거든요. 12시, 11시.
앞서가고 있었습니다. 조기석 선수가.
그럼에도 지금 체력이 거의 없는데요.
어허, 이거 골리앗 하나가 정리할 수 있겠는데요.
미치발 꺼주면서 계속 공격하고 여기 지금 터져요. 더 많은 자원을 지금 확보하고 있는 조기석 선수가 소모전만 해줘도 유리한 상황이고
네.
거기 드랍
붙이네요. 치즈.
간절한 조기석 선수의 역전 드라마가 완성이 되면서 오늘 경기 8강의 주인공은 조기석 선수가 됐습니다.
AfreecaTV ASL Season 8 Expansion.
All right, we're back here at the ASL, and it's time to finish up this last best of 3. It is going to be Larva versus Last, and this is going to be Larva versus Light. Excuse me.
I know his play looked like Last.
My
It was
last
so good.
best of 3. Excuse me. Yes, it's going to be Larva versus Light, and yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. I am really pumped to see how this is going to pan out.
It's going to be a good one. Both these guys are quite good in the late game. Actually, in my opinion, Light is a little bit favored here.
I think so. But, you know, Larva's pretty smart. And one thing about Larva is he'll play around any type of play style, right?
I think, yeah.
He knows what to expect.
Sure.
Anyways, we're going to be on New Bloody Ridge. Let's go. Game 1 starts now.
Now playing in New Blood Ridge.
What are you giggling about?
Well, one of his drones had a stupid pathing thing and went behind the mineral and started mining, and I'm pretty sure he clicked it to mine because it was like going even worse. And then they go to his camera, and I just saw the faintest from just a normal mouth into just the tiniest
the angry
frown.
face? Yeah.
The tiniest, get over there, you know?
Yeah.
That little face that everyone makes when their miners don't do what they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why. Yeah, so this is exciting. New Bloody Ridge. First game I've seen on this map in years.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited, Cassis. Some more Larva support.
Yeah. I saw some disgruntled mini fans leaving, by the way.
Oh, really?
I ran down to go to the bathroom in between.
Yeah.
And I was like, the show's not over. Oh, these are mini fans.
These are people that show up just for that guy.
Yeah. They're like, okay, gotta get out of here.
Yeah, he's got a big growing fan base here.
Yeah, definitely is. Not sure how popular he is as a streamer, actually, but
I don't believe he's as popular.
Yeah,
but
there's all sorts of different types of fans, like fans that like people for their stream personality, people that like for specific play. This was like, if I recall correctly, there was like almost a joke about it back in the day that Stork is the guy that had only guy fans. They were all like just fans of like his actual play and not as much personality or something.
Yeah,
you always. I remember that just kind of striking me as funny because it's like you always talk about how you really liked his build orders.
Yeah, I was in love with it.
So I think there was like just a lot of Protoss people that were like, "Oh, your builds are great. It's helping me so much."
But that's literally what it was. Is that
those are his fans.
The core of his fan base was guys that are trying to figure out Protoss and are like, you'd get one of his replays, you'd be like, "Thank you, I've got it now." you know. Whereas someone like Jadong is people are almost a fan of him.
Oh,
as
absolutely.
They
should be. They should be. I totally get that. For me personally, I'm actually almost more on the level of the Stork fans or something. Where
I'm much more like that.
I'm like, oh, no, I just care about the quality of the game,
the
the build order I'm seeing, which is why I keep saying that Light is a great Terran. I want him to get far because I just want to see a lot of his games.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Okay, so
now Larva, on the other hand, is hugely popular.
Yeah,
and he's a little like Jadong, where it's like people like him because of who he is.
And yeah,
he's hilarious.
His
he's
personality
cool
is amazing. So, kind of muttering to himself a little bit, moving his mouth around. Never seen anyone do that.
Actually, I've seen some top pros will occasionally talk to themselves, not nonstop, but they'll just say things out loud.
Yeah,
you know.
I've been told I move my mouth a little bit when I play as well.
Oh, just a little bit, Artosis, not too much.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
Nothing weird about it, just normal.
Yeah. Artosis, the thing about you when you play is that the game is also happening on your face the entire time. You are actually emotionally experiencing the game from every moment, from A to Z.
It's true. It's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm truly present when I'm playing StarCraft.
Yeah, you are. No, you are truly there in every part of you is there in that moment.
Yeah.
So we actually had a drone block the entrance so the SCV couldn't scout. Oh, it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
It was there. And this is actually 3 hatches, no layer yet.
Yeah. But it's a very normal 3-hatch play, and Light actually went for a 1-1-1. Or it should be, at least. I'll be very surprised if he goes into mech from there. That would be really weird.
I don't think we're going to have, especially from him, he just doesn't tend to do it as much.
Yeah, and this is actually, some other really good Zergs have mentioned that this is actually part of Larva's problem. He really likes 3-hatch. He really likes it against Terran, and the thing is, obviously, all the builds go in and out. Oh my god,
oh my god. I was about to say, if that SCV gets out.
Yeah. Anyways, you know, builds cycle in how strong they are. Just because when one build's being used a lot, people get better against it, modify strategy slightly, etc. A while back, 3-hatch was the build. Right now, I think that it is basically universal. Like, every Terran and every Zerg thinks that 2-hatch play is better.
Yeah.
But Larva continues to 3-hatch quite often. Now, he's playing against 1-on-1, and, you know, I think it's an okay match either way. But, I don't know, you just gotta...
Well, there's basically been 2 schools of thought, right? And we've oscillated between the 2 as far as Zerg development. I'm obviously throwing out crap like 1-hatch lurker, or, you know what I mean?
Oh, no, that's
trying to Hydra rush and kill a Terran's face. There's a couple cool tricks, but generally it was either 2-hatch in a layer or 3-hatch in a layer.
Yeah.
You know, and the 3-hatch in the layer is obviously a little bit more conservative, a little bit more passive. But we've seen players make it work. Both Larva and Sulky are excellent.
Yes.
With their 3-hatch in this matchup.
And it's kind of the macro approach. It's for longer games.
Yes.
Here's the problem, right? Like this build that Light's doing, where he's just going 1-on-1. If you went 3-hatch, it's like, yeah, you have more of an economy, and the game will probably go maybe a bit longer and stuff, but you have no opportunity to do damage. None. You can't do anything, so the Terran player can do everything he wants. He can get his +1 going, he gets Science Vessels very quickly, he's not forced into something stupid like Valkyries or Wraiths.
He's gonna get this Overlord?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna be so mad. That was preventable, for sure. But the Hydras, they kind of bounce off the drones there. Yeah, with 3-hatch play, you're able to get both the Den and the Spire.
Yeah.
Whereas with 2-hatch, you generally just get the Spire for a long time and then try to squeeze out the 3rd base for your 3rd hatchery.
It's, you know, the Den always helps for blocking up Vulture run-bys and things like this. If a Wraith comes,
but you get that Lurker Tech later, too. It's just sort of there. You know, it sets up.
I think the reason why I don't like it, this 3-hatch play, especially against the 1-1-1 specifically, I think it's much better against bio stuff in general, but if Terran can just go into Vessel and make the appropriate turrets and then like add the barracks and hit the timing, this build is out of control good. Like the 1-1-1, if you can just do it all, it's amazing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because you've got the Terran perspective here, but like, is there some sense of relief when you see 3-hatch? You go, oh.
Yeah, generally, because you know you're not going to take any damage, and you know you can go Vessel. If you're forced into a game where you're going either Valkyrie or Wraith or something like that, it can get a bit scary, right? Things can go wrong.
Speaking of Vessel, he's going to come in here for an Assassinate. As that comes out, he's got the Scourge ready.
Yeah. You almost want to randomize where you're hiding your Vessel in a situation like this. Like, for instance, the Vessel was in the main, and he's bringing it up front here. He's actually, looks like he might get the bunker, which is big.
Okay, it's juking and jiving with it. Oh! Not before the Irradiate gets off. Good split, good split.
Very important that he got the Irradiate off. That bunker was pretty far out the front, so suddenly we have Larva doing what I said he wasn't supposed to be able to do, which is get damage.
Yeah. Well, this is a pretty beautiful play here. Morlings are coming. Actually, this may just kill him.
Yeah, it's possible.
More mutas are coming out here. That turret is the only thing. The turret by the barracks, excuse me, is the only thing that's keeping Terran from straight up not dying.
Yes, you're very right about that. Otherwise, he would be sitting on top of that. But right now, he's getting as much damage as he can at this natural. Gets rid of all the turrets, which forces the lift immediately.
This is bad.
Yeah.
Terran, again, they're brittle early on. And Larva with a pretty intelligent attack. He's come in here now. We're still waiting for another Vessel to come out. Again, that Vulture can't really be microed too much. It's a pretty congested area there. He's going to get the command center now. Now, there's more Lings coming. I believe Larva's just going to try to go for a kill move here. Medics are now out. These are the first medics that have been made in this game.
Yeah, those are some high health mutas still. You will have an irradiate pretty shortly here.
I think we're going to see that now.
Can't let this command center die. Has to save it. All right.
Wow.
Nice irradiate.
Very fast split.
Beautiful pull. That was a really good pull.
That was also a really good irradiate. That was one of the ones at the bottom of the clump.
Yeah, that was awesome on both sides. Larva looking strong. You're not supposed to be up 10 supply right now.
Yeah.
But Light's getting enough that it seems like the game should go on. Like, he'll have his stim, he'll get into range. When he gets another irradiate ready, that's when he can really push the mutas back and retake his natural.
Okay, another irradiate. Pull. There we go.
It was a pretty good pull again.
But we're going to have lurkers. And if lurkers can enter where the bottleneck of the natural is,
oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I think he should be able to retake his natural before then. He sees the... Wow, if he saw that, that's very helpful to see the exact timing of the Hydras coming out.
We don't have any tanks here. And siege tanks that are well protected basically stop the lurkers from doing much more damage. But laying lurker with Muta against just bio, Zerg can take fights when they want.
And normally with this build from Light, you will end up getting some siege tanks, but when you start taking damage like that from mutilating, you know, obviously that's the first thing you're going to cut. Siege tanks won't help you at all. It's only for later on.
Right. Where are those lurkers at now? Oh, he hasn't started yet. I'm sorry.
Soon enough.
I'm sure that lurker upgrade's going to finish shortly here. Again, another irradiate, easy pull.
Yeah, but getting the radiates on the... He's pulling the mutas so nicely against the radiates. It's very impressive.
The thing is, if the radiates go on the mutas, he will not have irradiates for the lurkers.
That's, yeah.
And so the lurkers can then actually try to push and gain ground. We have one tank out. Light playing brilliantly. By the way, Larva is going to attack in here. He keeps making links. He is going to try to do something.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for a nice big surround as this comes out. Really seems that way. Okay, he sees where the eggs are, so Light is not going to let any sort of surround happen. I think he realizes pretty much what's going on here.
All right, here we go. Here's that attack coming in here now. Burrowing. And good connection there. The lurkers are going to leapfrog in once more. Again, there's just not enough tanks here.
Wow, that is a lot of lurkers right there. Light trying to stim back.
Yeah, and from here he could probably get into the natural. Oh, I'm sorry. There was way more bunkers up there on that screen than I thought there was. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
He actually will hold this. I just did not see any bunkers there. I was like totally surprised.
Good hold, though. Definitely a very good hold. You know, he put so much money into that, he could have his hive done easily right now if he hadn't decided to try to end it. But he's got that killer instinct. Light still in the game.
Light looking pretty tenacious, has not been taken out just yet.
And, you know, he's got some pretty good intel. There's, like, it's still doable. He can still definitely play this out and try to find some way back into it. Like, Larva didn't take an additional base. His hive is a little bit late. When you see him remaking a bunch of lurkers, that's almost like a good sign for the Terran player.
Yeah.
Because lurkers, they shouldn't ever kill you. I mean, they do sometimes, but it's not a unit that you're like, oh no, I'm going to die. He's making lurkers.
Yeah, if you lose too many lurkers, generally, the Terran is winning. The more lurkers you keep alive, because lurkers are one of these units, especially against Marines, they can get such good exchanges. I mean, you can have a lurker that's killed, like, literally 100 Marines.
Yeah.
You know, if you just hit it at the right angle because of the way the damage is dealt.
And, you know, when you're in a situation where you're getting a little bit afraid of later game tech, like, you can play against lurkers forever with vessels and Marine Medic.
Right.
Whereas, you know, like, let's say you're behind in upgrades, you can still kind of play against that. But if they get into ultras or something, right? If they're too close to your base, defilers get scary.
Right.
But if they're just spending a lot of money on lurkers, you can kind of just keep pressure on. If you can keep irradiating lurkers and just have to keep making them, it opens up some windows for you.
Zerg's topping his tech off, by the way. Terran, basically, what you see is what you're going to get for this game. You can't just do some kind of like mech switch, right? You don't do that in this position, right?
Light is pretty darn good at the mech switch. Normally, you don't mech switch out of a 1-1-1, though.
Okay.
It doesn't flow as well as a lot of their builds. You're trying to hit a massive attack with an abnormally large amount of vessels. It's like 1-1-1s turn into more about just using irradiate over and over than anything else. Whereas like a bio play is like pressure all game, and you know, mech switches are just about securing, you know, 4 or 5 gases right away.
Okay. Zerg is setting up for a proper late game, but now we're at the moment where Terran's going to start to row. And this is, by the way, very APM intensive on the Terran's part. It's very hard to move this many units, especially when they're this brittle.
It's pretty decent radiates there. Ooh, real nice.
Oh my God, he got like basically every lurker with the radiate.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is what you want.
Yeah.
As long as he's not losing too many. Oh my God, the macro of Larva is really kicking it. He has a lot of lings right now.
Yeah, and those are going to have the adrenal upgrade, so they're going to be a real threat.
Oh,
here.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
He's got
These
that
are
care
adrenal
base.
armorlings.
Armorlings. I've never heard
Armorlings.
them called that.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that though.
Yeah, there's defilers. Armor filers.
They're already armor filers, believe me.
Oh, here we go. Again, you have this many Zerglings. Medic Marine is a lot less of a threat, especially in open areas. When Dark Swarm goes down, when the Dark Swarm goes down, you basically have to give up that area. And so a lot of this game is Dark Swarms is trying to get close enough to where the Terrans, ideally the Terrans' actual barracks is, but you usually start by trying to get to the third or the natural. And these irradiates are going to be shot out endlessly in an attempt to irradiate the defilers so that the defilers can never make the commute to the Terran's location.
Yeah, you know, I feel like now we've seen Larva twice try to push towards that Terran base after the initial flood that did well.
Yeah.
And that's where Light is really catching up. He's just being efficient. He's irradiating these units and microing his Marine Medic, and he's getting very, very efficient trades. So now we have Larva. It's like, okay, yeah, there's your fourth base, and I guess he's going to try to take a fifth. No, I guess he didn't run either, sorry.
Counterattack over here. Ling Lurker coming up to where this third base is on this high ground. Definitely denying this is huge. Oh, looks like it's spotted.
He will have to cancel that one, that's for sure.
And the Lurkers could just basically set up a position. It's all about fighting over positions here. Now see, the Zerg can come over here.
He's looking for that defiler. He needs to get rid of it.
Now see, there it is. There's a Dark Swarm. Yeah, we're gonna have another one come down here.
So there's 4 defilers here.
There's actually fire bats inside of these bunkers too, by the way.
He just missed the lead. No, okay, the radiator.
Now, can you get a little bit closer over here? There's just nothing you can do with the Dark Swarms down there.
Yeah.
And wasn't there like a period of time where you could like land a building on a Dark Swarm and it canceled it? Was that a thing?
I remember killing interceptors with that.
Oh, was that?
If there was a Dark Swarm bug back then, no one really used Dark Swarm at that time very much in PvZ. Or ZVT rather. So I certainly don't remember that.
Yeah. Maybe I'm making this up.
I did spam land on interceptors though. That was one of my
that was really annoying. You're like, seriously? All right.
Okay. Oh, this is a big moment in the game. 2 vessels down. But look at this, like, Larva just keeps trying to hit these attacks, and now Light is back out on the map, giving that pressure. Oh my God.
Oh, dude, this is bad. He breached it.
Yeah, with the medic wall there, you can't do anything.
Same problem that Terran's having against the Dark Swarm. If you get enough of like a medic wall, for instance, and these Stim Marines and the vessels are there, you're going to just dominate this territory.
Light is really just showing how good he is in this matchup right now.
Larva was playing the game of his life until this exact moment, and now he's going to lose the hatchery over here.
Yeah. This was a fantastic attack. It's just, Larva's been trying too hard to finish the game. He had the advantage after the initial attack, and then he did like a massive Lurker attack, and then he did a Lurker Darkstorm attack, and then he did another Lurker Darkstorm attack. It's like, what you're playing here loses to Mass Vessel.
Yeah.
You know, if you are really focusing on Lurker as your kill, like Terran actually does want you to make Lurkers. If you win, cool, you were gonna win anyways, but it's just, it's kind of weak to this.
Okay, this might be where he can get finished off here. If this location is taken, I know that there's a Nidus here. I don't see much coming through it yet. Oh, conservative play here by Light just abandons that attempt.
Yeah, he's finally trying to get that third up. That's where he's really lacking.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing that could cost him the game here.
Yeah. His economy really is garbage right now.
Yeah. Okay, another Dark Swarm. You're basically expecting to lose the Defilers. They're there to cast 1 to 2 Dark Swarms before they eat the Irradiate. That's the beauty of the mini game of this matchup, is like Defilers running around, shooting a Dark Swarm out, you know, and they're trying to fight the ground army, where the air army for Terran is trying to get the Irradiate off.
Yeah. Well, Light's got 3 too, so he should be feeling pretty good about that. Securing more bases is so important. He's got a nice spread of units here. He's keeping pressure on all the sides and just continually irradiating. So he's forcing more and more lurkers and defilers to be made.
Oh my god, I can't believe that didn't connect. Well, now you can see that Terran has position. Terran has map dominance. Zerg is basically staying back and trying not to get overwhelmed.
Ooh. Yeah, the important thing here is just keeping those lives as long as possible.
I know that we had a TVZ earlier where it was Ling Ultra. We were talking about how the fire bats are not very handy. If it's just Ling, the fire bats are great.
Oh, anytime you're playing against defiler type techs, you want a lot of fire bats mixed in there because there's even weird situations. You know how you keep saying like, oh, if there's a lurker on a dark storm, you just have to leave the area. If it's like, well, how many lurkers is it? How many fire bats do I have?
Yeah, if it's like one lurker and you have like 8 fire bats, you're like,
oh, sure,
I could win that. I could
problem.
do that.
In a situation like this, because they normally don't get range attack upgrades, 4 fire bats, yeah, kill the lurker, no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
So Light has secured his 3rd base. That is such an important moment for him.
Yeah.
Needs to get that economy back online. Looks like a much smaller force coming over now. I like this move. Not committing too much, but trying to look for some damage. Fire bats certainly don't care about that. Oh, I just saw the look on Larva's face.
Well, he knows this is like, he was doing so well, but he got way ahead of himself.
Yeah.
He didn't take that advantage and bring it to a victory. He actually kind of bungled it. And, you know, with enough irradiates, you will eventually, you know, erase all of the lurkers that are here.
They're like their own mini economy. You're keeping so much pressure on the Zerg because they have to continually make the lurkers and defilers. And that's what happens when you overmake lurkers early on. Sure, you get a few wins here and there with these weird lurker attacks. But if you just keep making lurkers and Terran keeps killing them, you get into a vicious loop of it because the vessel count grows.
Well, Zerg has the option to try to sustain and just outlast this, but Zerg is definitely on their back foot. We have more Marines and vessels coming down now. He's going to try to break through. Again, Dark Swarms, it's very tough to actually break this position here.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, a situation like this, you're looking to break one more base one time, basically, as Terran. And that should break the back of Larva at that point. But, okay, this is the exact type of play that we need from Larva, though. If he can utilize Lings and Defilers and get lots of Plagues off, sometimes you're going to be able to wear through this army over the long term.
Right.
Plaguing the vessels is high priority as well. You'll start to see, if he hits some good plagues on vessels, you'll actually see either a Muta or 2 made or maybe a few Hydras to try to pick them off.
Nice kill there on that vessel.
Yeah. Light needs to think about a 4th base real soon.
Yeah, it might sound weird, but it might not even hurt to just take the very far upper left, like one of these weird locations where there's just not going to be that much attention on it. Yeah. Zerg is so preoccupied trying to sandbag the infantry from just overwhelming him.
Wow, good defense here as well. Even has the bunker up.
If he doesn't take the upper left, he'll just take the top center. That's basically the only. I don't think he'll take the center.
That would be kind of funny. Tiny little choke right there.
Keep in mind, there's actually just not a lot of bases on this map.
That's true.
This is not circuit breakers, so we are kind of getting to the point where there's not a lot of room left for places to take.
You see Light is kind of tightening the noose right now, getting closer and closer.
And we want to wait and see if any of these positions get broken here. I mean, keep in mind there's this whole, I love this. Okay, this is called the Eraser. you send the irradiated vessel. The machine units obviously don't take any damage from irradiate because it's there to kill biological units. And you put it over the workers. Whoa, this is a great attack. This is an attack on the rally points over here. An unexpected move here.
Yeah. And that's right where the drones popped out as well, which is super hilarious. A lot of fire bats mixed into that is what allowed him to break
I think Light just broke him on multiple fronts.
Yeah.
Okay, there's the Dark Swarm, but there's enough fire bats here. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, really nicely done.
Getting the den here would prevent more lurkers coming out.
Well, Yeah, I think Larva has to GG. Losing the expansion and taking this much damage at the front of your natural. The only thing that's good for Larva is that Light does not have a 4th base.
Right.
That's the only thing that could give him any hope here.
Okay, coming forward again.
There's his Ultra.
It's the one Ultra.
Yep.
That Ultra's actually Larva. Coming out.
He's the
hero unit. If the hero unit dies and the game ends. Now, Ultras may allow the game
you
to
must
see
protect Trask.
Yeah, that's right.
Trask must not die.
What is the mineral situation looking like on the far left base?
Far left is pretty healthy because he killed the hatchery earlier.
Oh, that's right. Okay. We have a counterattack, but again, there's enough irradiance, you sort of just burn through all these Zerg units.
Yeah.
Whoa, lots of SCV kills, damn.
Some pretty decent damage. You know, he still has enough supply to play with. When you see 70, 80 supply, Zerg is surprisingly strong for that amount.
Yeah, it could be
when
deceptive.
you see it down at 50 or 60, it's like, okay, you actually have nothing, get out of here.
Yeah, it can be deceptive because Zergs in StarCraft 1 are usually always behind in supply, and they're still in good shape.
Yeah.
That if you were ever to see a Zerg maxed out, it's like, whoa, how did he do that?
Well, Max Zerg is the scariest force in the universe.
Yeah. So
that's why Kerrigan switched Grace from Terran to Zerg. Pretty sure that's how it happened.
That's how they were actually overwhelming everybody on in the campaign.
It's like, damn, 200 Zerg, that's sick.
And that could be like 400 Zerglings Artosis.
Yeah.
Okay. Another attack here. Maybe Larva can pull something off.
Well, with the Defiler here, like, he can break through.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Here's the Dark Swarm. He needs to jump back a little bit here. Great Plague there as well. Larva is just basically trying to do what he can on the small number of bases that he has here.
Yeah.
In the hopes that maybe he'll wear the Terran down. I don't know what the mineral situation is also like on the far right.
It's still okay, I think.
Okay.
It's not... It takes a while to mine out these bases.
Oh, great control here. Got to protect those vessels.
Yeah, those minerals are still all right. So Larva is only mining off one base. Both his main and natural gases have expired by now.
I love this. Just gotta put that over there. And I love the outposted infantry at other places that you could expand to.
It's an amazing strat. I love the SCVs going back to minerals under their radiate.
Yeah, all taking damage.
Yeah.
So here's the rest of the drones. This is what the Zerg has, and Zerg is going to burn out pretty fast. As Terran has control of the 12 o'clock expansion. Yep, that's it, GG. Larva concludes there are no other directions that game can be brought to that will give him a win, and so Light takes game 1.
And that's an extremely painful loss for several reasons. Larva had a big advantage after the Ling Muta attack, and then pushed it way too many times with Lurker attacks. And again, sometimes you'll see Lurker attacks kill a Terran, but if they live through successive Lurker attacks, you are forced into continually making Lurkers. You can't hit those higher tech units as easily. That will allow you to have any power later in the game. Lurkers are very easy to micro against, so that, you know, it helps Terran going forward if that's what you're using. So that's like kind of painful, but on top of that, we're going to Overwatch next. Overwatch is a map where if you can't 2-hatch like a pro, you are not going to beat a player like Light. It is not, like, 3-hatch play is not going to be a smart strategy here. Absolutely.
No, I don't think you can have that at all.
Like, securing a third base on this map, tell me where. The corner, okay, good luck.
Yeah, no, it's pretty tough. There's going to have to be some fireworks early on here from Larva, and I'm sure he knows that. So we're actually waiting for both players to join the game, and then we will hop into this. Again, the winner goes on to the final 8 of the ASL. The loser is out.
Yeah. Larva does not want to fall out in another round of 16 here. Of course, Light hasn't made a round of 8 yet, which for his actual level is a little bit surprising.
Yeah, he did a little bit better in KSL, but so far ASL not his tournament.
You know what would be great? If Light wins this, we're going to have 4 Terrans in the round of 8. I've been waiting my whole life to say that.
Artosis, you are such a Terran player. It just cracks me up. All right, we got both players in the game. It's time. Remember, Larva needs to win here for us to go to game 3. If Light takes it, it's over, and Light survives to the round of 8.
Now playing in Overwatch.
So we have in the top left Larva. Bottom right we have Light.
So let's see. Is it going to be that 2-hatch play? I totally agree with you that I think it has to be, right?
Yeah. 3-hatch, like you're relying on getting a third base up against some pressure. And here there's not a great third base location. It's so far away. It's kind of out, it's an outpost all onto itself. There are some ways that you can do it, right? Like, for instance, if you want to play 3-hatch here, I don't mean to overstate things. It's just, if you look at what standard is on this map, it is 2-hatch. But like, if you want to go 3-hatch, you could do something like go 3-hatch lurker and just immediately take a third base with lurkers and stuff, and that gives you a window where Terran is not likely to stop that. So there are still options for Larva here. You know, any map can be won once with a strat like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where like if you're doing that every game, you have to go through Terran after Terran. They're going to come with a counter strat and kill it. But here, you know, if I'm Light, I'm thinking, okay, he's going to probably 2-hatch. It's not his best.
Right.
He's not a guy that you just think about how tight his Mutalisk builds are and how great his micro is. He's not, you know, that would be Soma, not Larva.
So we're going to have that first drone sent out. It'll be hatch on 12 here for Larva.
And Light just scouting right away. Terrans very much like to go command center first if they can on this map.
And that's what we're going to have this time around. Now, obviously, command center first is a risk. If they were to do something like, well, I guess the obvious is just make lings and send them across the map, and you would die. The thing is, Zergs tend to not do that because making lings and sending them across the map does not beat everything else Terran can do.
Yeah, and so, especially here, this map has a weird meta at the pro level for build orders because command center first is very powerful. It's a 2-player map, right? So you can scout the Zerg quickly, but also it has a ling tight wall at both positions. So if they do something like 9-pool and you scout at a timing like this before you start your command center, you can actually get up a barracks and depot and hold it. And then the Zerg is like, wow, I went 9-pool and I didn't kill you with it, and you know, everything was late. But at the same time, if they go for wall-in and you go 4-pool, it's free win.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, it's like 4-pool. Well, that's silly because against anything normal, it loses. But, you know, that's kind of the triangle where these are all percentage builds and you have to sometimes mix them in.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it's 3-hatch play. So now we get to see what is he going to try to go Muta into a third base? Is he going to just go straight lurker?
What are the all-ins like for like weird Hydra stuff? This is something as a Protoss player, I haven't quite mapped out. But like, you know, there's this thing where like, okay, so the SCV's gone. If he throws a den down, can you like just run across the map with Hydras and kill him, or does that not work? Is that only against 1-on-1s and stuff like that?
Now, if he's teching real quick, there's some small chance. In fact, Hydra builds are better on maps with walls because if you wall in, you're less likely to make early barracks. You're less likely
because you feel
to
safe
produce
against
as many Marines.
Yeah, because you feel safe against lings.
And you also are auto-losing 2 depots. They can't be held, right? You have to build bunkers behind it.
because the SCVs get shot down.
Yeah,
and then if you kill the... I guess
nothing reaches the Hydras. You can't... You just kind of have to let it die, and then they hit your bunkers.
And then I guess the thing is that then you're not even making anything else, right? You had to lift the barracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're a little bit better on maps with walls, but even if you do all that, if the Terran kind of nails everything else... Oh, look at this. This is different.
Oh, yeah. A little factory parked over
there.
there.
I have to actually
Second
really
gas.
think for a
Second
moment.
gas.
What is this?
By the way, there's not going to be any kind of Hydra attack, guys. But I was just curious because whenever you see these risks Terrans take, there's always these direct answers that other races have, where it's like, okay, well, There's a reason why this isn't the build that's used every time, and it's because... Go ahead, Artosis.
So when he was just making the Academy, and I was like, what build is this? I was literally like just sitting here going through my entire memory.
Yes.
And I was like, there isn't a build that you go Academy and Factory at the same time. He canceled the Academy.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
So I don't know if he's just off, like, because his brain seems like it was going in two directions. Because there is nothing where you get Academy and
3 starboards.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Let me tell you something. This is light breaking the mold here. You know, a lot of times, and don't take this as a knock on him, you know, but a lot of times you can kind of expect him to just mass up, go bio, and have a kind of solid, clean play. He's kind of like the Terran's Terran in a way in this matchup. So to see this quick expand gamble into triple starport.
Yeah, this is not even a very.
This is not even on the map. This is like an off the grid build order,
and it might work because this is kind of a hybrid that we see Larva doing. He'll probably make some mutas, but with the speed of that Hydros Den, it makes me think he wants to go instant lurker so he can take the third base like we were talking about. And so that will weaken his anti-air army so significantly that the 3-port Wraith might do critical damage.
Keep in mind, this generally is a subject that comes up in PvZ with Corsairs killing Overlords. Is you can get in a situation where you've killed off so many Overlords that you're like gridlocked, you're supply blocked, and like all you're doing is remaking Overlords, and you're not, and, you know, it happens a couple cycles of all the Overlords dying, and it's like you're completely knocked out of any options in the game, and you die shortly after. Now, this could happen in this game as well. We don't know when the Wraiths are going to come out, but keep in mind, Wraiths absolutely annihilate other air units with their missiles.
Yeah.
The thing about Wraiths is they're more like harass units. Not one Wraith alone does not tell us. No, does not tell him anything, by the way.
Yeah, it's a weird time for a Wraith.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't say this is 3-port Wraith.
And so he's getting Cloak. Now the unit that is going to naturally spot this is the Overlord, and you don't get spores in this matchup. And maybe we will this time. We will see. But you generally just don't make a spore like willy-nilly.
No.
That's what you do against
very
Boros.
rare. Very rare.
And so, if the Wraiths come out in high enough numbers and kill all the Overlords and then Cloak, all of the workers are going to die. Now, I see creep colonies being made at each of these expansions, so I think
he might have figured it out.
He might have figured it out, and maybe this is something the Light's done.
This might be a brand new meta build. Yeah, with the spores coming up, it kind of feels like it.
Well, the way the Hydras are placed.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, I think that if this is directly countered, I don't think you win. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like you...
I don't think it's free win, but I think he's fine here because he's actually going in bio behind us. So you can always harass still with them, right? Just like Mutas can.
Yeah. One Wraith
not as
shot
good as
down.
Mutas can, but, you know.
Exhibited right there.
Yeah. But
Koreans a lot of times call Wraiths paper airplanes.
Yeah. It's apt. If they get wet, they can't fly.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, he's going into bio. You know, a situation like this, Leda would smile at this situation, be like, I'm ahead, and everyone in the world would be like, are you? But, we'll see how well Light can handle it, right?
Leda going for Wraiths like this for so long, it's actually...
Yeah. Leda has his notebook out. He's like, oh, that's how you get 3 ports quick? Okay, I can do that.
Bring it on. What is the deal with him and the Wraiths, by the way?
It's his superpower.
Yeah.
If you look at the rest of his play, it is not as impressive.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, some people are like that, where they have a special secret strategy. Well, it's not even secret, just like, I'm so good at this, I can just do it.
I can understand, like, on ladder games when nobody knows what they're going up against. Suddenly they're in this weird mini game that you've mastered all the steps in, but when you're a public pro, it's like, but you're still going to do that. I mean,
it's impressive, right? That he can still do it and making the leagues and stuff. Yeah, totally.
Good kill on the Queen.
Yeah, that was really
So the
nice.
Queen is probably there to ensnare the Wraiths.
Absolutely.
He's so good.
Wow, that's some serious damage.
Oh, another Queen, another Queen. So good by him. Wow.
Yeah, that's real good.
Only 3 Wraiths left, though. Do you just keep making Wraiths? Is that no? Okay, I guess he stops. Yeah. I still don't quite understand this build.
Yeah, well, if he had gone Mutas, he would have made Wraiths nonstop, but since he was going Hydras, you're just like, okay, well, we'll harass with these, and that's about it. But it's an interesting composition from Larva. He has Hydras. He was making Queens. The Queens actually help out. Like, if you rush up carapace upgrades for Hydras and utilize Ensnare, you can actually fight Marines surprisingly well.
Yeah.
It's like a funny thing, and we almost never see it. There's been a few pro games where people have done that. And then, of course, like as you get in the late game, playing Hydra is a somewhat known combination where you just go like mass plagues and Hydras, and then they can kind of kill everything. We'll see what he goes for. Yeah,
here comes that Defiler mound.
Cool.
Got more barracks coming down. Kind of convenient that with all those starports, you automatically have your 2 starports for the science vessels.
Yeah.
So we're getting into a later biotech here.
The first move out from light is the scariest thing in this game for Larva. It really all comes down to that. Ooh, that's a very nice kill.
Yeah. Very important to keep the vessel count low. A lot of times, if you can just keep, if there's one thing you can do to try to win in a standard game, as Zerg would be to just keep the vessel count reduced.
Yeah, it is.
And you tend to overpower them.
Vessel is truly key. Oh, that's cute.
I like that. They'll probably cancel these right at the end there.
He's going to lose 2 Hydras for it. Is that worth forcing a siege?
Well, he's trying to sandbag the push, right? I mean, anything you can do to buy time.
He needs it slowed, that's for sure. He's not ready for it.
Sorry, is there a Defiler out yet?
No.
Okay. And that means Consume's not done yet either.
Yeah.
The Defiler is...
The Defiler mount is done, but yeah, he should not have a Defiler quite yet soon.
A lot of this matchup is the Terran trying to... There's a whole game that's leading up to pre-Consume. Terran can sometimes win the game just seconds before Consume finishes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why...
Sorry, the +1 carapace is done for Larva. That makes a big difference here. It's getting an okay-sized army. There's Mr. Defiler. He's so important right now.
Okay, and so what he's doing, he's burrowing. The moment the tank siege up, you run back. You burrow, tank siege up, you run back. You make that Terran respect what you've got. Here we go. There's the Consume that's done, which means suddenly it's a total switch here. Now you can actually start to push back at the Terran.
Yeah,
assert yourself.
It's so important. That was really well done by Larva. It was close to not working out there.
Oh, good move here with the Wraiths. And he's going to be able to get out pretty easily.
Now, this is where Light will probably just start rotating around, getting lots of vessels as well. Definitely support that 2 starport vessel.
So here's that late game TVZ. It's like this is the whole mini game. It's like Defiler makes Dark Swarm, Terran respects Dark Swarm and backs up, but the vessels come out and try to irradiate the Defilers, so the Dark Swarm will eventually not be a factor. And so the Zerg is trying to get Scourge to hit the vessels, but the vessels are being protected by the Marines that are still trying to dodge the Dark Swarm. So it's a
pretty good summary.
This is what it is, and it's a very technical and mechanical fight. So there it is.
Yeah, there's so much running around like this too, and Larva's playing kind of interestingly. Like he's trying to get some flanks going. Oh wow, he actually will get the Lurker's Burrow there. So he's pushing everything back as far as he can. That opens up room for possible counterattacks as well, which is nice. Yeah, that doesn't look too doable at the moment. And well, he's going to try to go up the ramp. Continue to put down those irradiates. Tasteless lost his mic for a moment here. That's fine. Because really, I just want to talk about Terran games. I wish we could be cryogenically frozen every time our races don't play. Anyways. I mean, I love the pressure that we see from Light here. He's setting up his 3rd base during all this as well. Wow, able to actually push over towards the natural. Light's starting to break through right now, bringing up the siege tanks. Kind of late irradiate right there. Uh-oh. Feeling Larva's just about done. By the way, Ensnare actually slows stim rate fire, which is part of the reason why you got it here to go with this Hydras. The damage output of Marines is a little bit scary with those otherwise. And it looks like this is the final breaths of Larva. Not going to be able to break through. And that should be just about that. Right. Well, looks like we're going to have 4 Terrans in the round of 8. Happy day. GG. All right. And Light eliminates Larva 2-0. You can see Larva very unhappy with himself right now. Light overwhelmed with joy that he finally has made it into a round of 8. And we'll be having an interview with him just momentarily here. Has to be feeling quite good about himself. Able to take down Mini and Larva in successive games, only losing 2 action. So the 2 most underpredicted players actually end up making it out at the end of the day. Larva, is he ever going to win a championship? Or is he just going to be the Zerg that everyone loves and is really good but doesn't win championships? Which I guess is most good Zergs, isn't it? Most good players in general. All right, over to the ASL interviewer. And here we go. Andy, take it away.
비조 경기 모두 함께 하셨습니다. 오늘의 두 번째 8강 진출자 ASL에서 첫 8강 진출을 이뤄낸 이재호 선수 만나보겠습니다. 축하드립니다.
in ASL. Congratulations.
와,
Thank you.
얼마나 좋으세요. 정말
really
이재호 선수에게 이번 8강 진출 너무나도 남다른 의미가 있을 것 같습니다. 일단 ASL에서 첫 8강 진출이시고요. 그리고 정말 여러 번 언급됐었던 오프라인에서의 우려까지 말끔하게 날려버린 오늘의 경기였습니다. 끝내고 난 후의 소감 어떠신가요?
How do you feel?
항상 주변에서 너는 이제 8강은 그냥 간다.
They told me that I would definitely make it to round of 8.
8강 이렇게 어려운 줄은
I never anticipated the round of 8 to be this hard.
3년인가 4년 동안 문을 두드려서
And I've been knocking on the door for 3 years, 4 years.
저기서 너무
every time I slip barely, and it just seems so distant from me. I was tearing up just now.
패자전, 최종전 한 단계 한 단계 거쳐
every
올라가시면서
step by step,
스타트 승리
you're
이후에도
gradually
최대한
getting closer
감정을 절제하려고
to
좀
your dream round of
노력하시는
8
모습까지
spot.
보였어요. 주먹만 이렇게 불끈 쥐시고 아직 방심하지 말자 이런 의지까지 보였는데 한 세트 따가면서 좀 어떤 기분 드셨나요?
How did it feel?
한 세트 따가면서 제가 또 특유의 그
gaining the win every set.
네.
I like to imagine things,
이러면서 제가
and then I was
뒤에 그림을
imagining
상상하는
me
거예요.
winning the whole tournament.
그러면서 제가 많이 떨어졌었거든요.
And
그래서
then
정신
that
차리자 재호야.
didn't really happen in reality, but I like imagining.
이러면서 마음을 계속 다잡았어요.
But I
변현재 선수와의
kept my poise in the
패자조
game.
이후에 진짜 이재호 선수의 움직임이 완벽하게 살아난
And your
듯한
movements,
느낌이었습니다.
the way you maneuver today
변현재
was really
선수와의
fluid.
두 경기 모두 변현재
And
선수가
in
리버
the
캐리어를
2 games
가져갔는데
against
공격적인
Mini,
타이밍으로 다
he went for the reaver,
잡아내셨거든요.
and then
캐리어에 대한
you
대비가 좀
caught him off
완벽하게
guard
돼
with
있었던 것
timing
같아요.
attack.
일단 첫 번째 판은 이제
In the first set,
거의 제가 불리하게 출발하지
I
않아서
really started bad.
그런 경우에는 거의 이긴다고 생각을 했는데
And in that
두 번째
situation,
경우에는 처음에 빌드가 너무 엇갈렸거든요. 그래서
the builds were really
이거 좀
off.
어려웠다 했는데
And I felt like it was going to be a hard game.
노려가지고
But then I opted that for one timing, and then that
그래도 뭐니
miraculously
뭐니 해도
saved the
오늘
game.
이재호 선수가 정말 웃을 수 있었던 바로 그 경기는 이몽규 선수와의
And
첫 번째
today
세트가
you're
아닐까
able
하는
to smile
생각이
because you
드는데요.
won your game
굉장히
against Larva in the
처음부터
last one.
이제 앞마당까지 띄우면서 사실상 굉장히 어렵다고 생각한 경기였는데
That was a game that
뱃을
didn't look too
모아가면서 정말 버티고 버티다가
advantageous for you.
9시 진출 타이밍에 분위기가 약간 바뀌는 듯한 느낌을 받았거든요.
네.
그때 좀 경기하면서 어떤 생각
And
드셨나요?
how did you feel going up against
일단
Larva?
제가 당해보지 않았던 전략이라서
Well, it was
첫 경기
he went for a
김성재
strategy
전도 그렇고
that I wasn't really prepared
대회는
for.
대회구나
And
다르다
then
이
I realized that
생각하면서
land tournaments are
손이라도
definitely
좀 더
different.
풀자 이 생각으로 했거든요. 근데
네.
그러다가 뭐지 이거 이길 것
And then
같은데
that game, I didn't
생각으로
think
하다
I would
보니까
win,
이기게 된
and
것
then I
같아요.
was just trying to warm up,
순간순간
but in the end, I was able to
이재호
pick up the win.
선수의 판단이 정말 성공적으로
And then
잘
you did
들어갔던 것
make some
같습니다.
very good decisions
자,
in the
이렇게
game today.
오프라인에서의 어려움까지
And
극복하기까지
you did overcome
연습하면서도
your
정말 많은 분들의
weak
도움을 받으셨을 것
offline
같아요.
tournament results today.
일단 그 웅진 친구들 김민철, 김명훈이랑 조석현이라고 저랑 같은
Mad props to Queen
생활했던 형이 있고
and Sulky, although
그렇게 세 명이 많이 도와줬어요.
They
그거
helped me
하면서
in the scrims.
일단 저그전만큼은 지면 안 되겠다는 생각을
And then
했고요.
I had the thought I should never
첫
lose
경기 진 건
a
아쉽지만
TVZ match
이봉규 선수
because
상대로
I had Sulky to scrim
우승했다는
against.
거에 만족합니다.
But
자,
today I'm very
이제 ASL
satisfied.
첫 8강의 쾌거를
Now this
이뤄낸
is your
만큼
first round of 8
이재호 선수의
advancement
커리어
in the
하이를
ASL.
위해서 많은 분들이 또 응원을 해주실 것
And
같거든요.
I'm sure a lot of fans
팬들에게
will
또
be
이번 시즌
cheering
어떤
for you.
모습 보여주고 싶으신지 전해주시죠.
Any words to the
일단
fans?
제가 처음으로 ASL에서
Well,
8강을
this is my
진출하게
first time
됐는데요.
advancing to round of 8.
항상 기대해 주실 때마다 매번
Every time you
16강
guys
이상에
have
떨어져서
high expectations
죄송했는데
on me, I
이번
let you down.
기회에 4강
But this time
결승까지
around,
꼭 진출할 수
I'll make
있도록
sure I can
좋은
get to the round of
모습
4
보여드리도록
and show good
감사합니다.
results. Thank you.
네, 오늘 다시 한번
Once
진출
again,
축하드립니다.
congratulations on making it. Thank you.
자, 이렇게 해서 오늘의 두 번째 8강 진출자 이재호 선수와
All right.
함께했습니다.
Thank you very much, Andy. And that is that. We have Action and Light, the two underrated players in the group, actually
Guys,
advancing at the end of the day.
It's me. I'm back.
You stole someone else's microphone.
Yeah, we're trying to get
sabotaged yours, and now they've just replaced
I
it.
didn't touch the cord, and nothing happens. It just stopped. I was trying to. It was my turn to say something about the game, like about tearing his attack and his Zerg.
You didn't say
And then it
anything. I'm
was
like, okay, what else is new? And I just kept going.
And then, so I'm actually using Andy's mic here. I don't know what happened. Sorry, I was not there in the last few minutes of that game. It was probably terrible without me.
It was awful, actually. Not even joking.
Yeah.
Now, these are our next couple groups. On Sunday, we're going to have the 4 Protoss group, which is just going to be
Tasteless Town over there.
knee slapper right there.
Yeah.
So Rain's going to go 3-0, but who do you think will get out second in that group?
No?
No way
Store?
that's going to happen.
Best? I don't know.
Yeah,
PvP is tough. I mean, it's going to be a fun day. And Group D is going to kick ass as well.
Yeah, well, Flash and Sulky are both in the group, which is kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Sulky is basically the best Zerg in the world right now, but he's going to the military.
Yes.
In like a week and a half, I think, or 2 weeks. So that's like his last match, I think.
Yeah.
Against Flash, nonetheless.
It's going to be back here at Casting ASL. We missed it while we were in China, casting for WCG, where it all started for us as StarCraft players. But now we're back here in the motherland, casting the best Koreans play. And I know you are super excited about that only Protoss group, as PvP is your favorite matchup.
I love it. I especially the
Terran
maps
player.
where there's a rock, paper, scissors. Those are my favorite. Yeah, so that'll be fun. It'll actually be really great to see what Rain does, because it doesn't almost even matter what he does, because he just bashes everyone in that matchup ridiculously. So it's the most one-sided thing I've ever seen.
So we've had a few scheduled changes here in the studio, but none of that will be affecting the ASL. So we'll still be on every Sunday and Tuesday at 7 p.m. KST.
Yep. And tomorrow night is the GSL group selection ceremony. You should definitely tune into that. Special has made it into the round of 16, so that's going to be very funny. That kid he's actually quite hilarious if you know what he's talking about, because he's like talks in pro gamer speak only.
Yes, with a very thick accent.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing though. Definitely tune into that tomorrow.
Guys, thank you for joining us. Sorry my mic broke at the very end there, but we did what we could to fix it. We love you guys. We will see you again at the next ASL. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.
Lord, forgive me. Take me on down the river where the kids can't find the red hand to center. On where the great can cry out. 'Cause I done wrong. Down the river with the hand on a Colt and a finger on the trigger, and long before dawn they try to find me. So take me on down. But take me on down. I never saw him coming on the boarding planks now, staring down a barrel at point blank range. I'm made for the water, jumping off the ledge, but not before I catch two to the chest. Now there's blood and water filling up my lungs. Blood and water filling up my lungs. My heart is beating like a fading drum. Lord, forgive me, here I come. Take me on.